Chapter 767. Ling Xiao refined the divine dragon bloodline as he went through the earth tribulation. In such a state, his body became even more dazzling. Buzz. Ling Xiao's body trembled slightly. Every time it trembled, a trace of the power of law would be integrated into his body. Ling Xiao's body was surrounded by a golden glow as if it was transforming into a mysterious body of the power of law. The faint fluctuation caused the void to tremble. Just like that, Ling Xiao entered a mysterious state, forgetting the passage of time and forgetting everything. Is Ling Xiao going through the earth tribulation? Phoenix Girl's eyes revealed a strange look. Yes, it should be. However, the fluctuation of the Xianhuang Earth Qi is too strong. I'm afraid only when Ling Xiao is going through the earth tribulation will there be such a huge commotion. Moon Goddess smiled faintly. Phoenix Girl and Moon Goddess stood in front of Ling Xiao and Long Outyin to protect them. Ling Xiao and Long Outyin sat cross-legged on the dragon's head. Their bodies were surrounded by a golden glow, forming two huge dragon-shaped golden cocoons. They were undergoing some kind of strange transformation. Ling Xiao's movement was the biggest because he was still going through the earth tribulation. Long Outyin's movement was very small. There was only a faint golden glow, but it emitted an aura that made Phoenix Girl and Moon Goddess's hearts palpitate. Sister Moon Goddess, do you also like Ling Xiao? Phoenix Girl looked at Moon Goddess seriously and asked. She and Moon God sat in the empty underground cave. They were protecting Ling Xiao and Long Aotian as they chatted. That's a good word. It seems like Sister Xiao Wu admits that you like Ling Xiao. Moon Goddess smiled faintly and did not answer directly. Instead, she asked a question of her own. Phoenix Girl's cheeks flushed red. She immediately knew that she had said too much and lowered her head in embarrassment. However, after a while, she suddenly raised her head and said, "That's right, I like Ling Xiao. When I'm with him, I feel very safe and happy. It's warm and I don't know why I rely on him so much. We have traveled together from the 8 Desolates region, but I have never seen anyone like Ling Xiao. He has endless magical powers, as if there is nothing he cannot do. Even in the War God continent, where geniuses gather, Ling Xiao is the most dazzling one compared to those peerless geniuses from the Holy Lands. My feelings towards him are very complicated. At the beginning, he had lifted the bloodline seal for me, but he had killed many elders and senior brothers of the Wanshou sect. I didn't know how to face him. However, he still passed on the true Phoenix secret technique to me, and took me out of the 8 Desolates region to see a wider world, especially on the underworld boat. In order to save us, he fell into the reincarnation sea. At that time, my heart felt like it was being torn apart. Only then did I truly face my own heart. Unknowingly, I had already fallen in love with him. The Phoenix Maiden's voice was very soft. There was a hint of joy and a hint of nervousness. She slowly spoke of her heart. It was as if only at this moment could she let go of everything and tell the moon god her thoughts. Silly girl, do you think others can't tell? Anyone can tell that your heart has been with Ling Xiao for a long time. The moon god gently smiled. However, I always felt that although Ling Xiao and I were very close, we were also very far apart. It was as if he was a god that had been banished to the mortal world. It was as if he would return to the heavens sooner or later. He seemed very cheerful, laughing and cursing. He was very concerned about us, but his heart seemed to be very closed. I couldn't see through him and I didn't know what he was thinking. In fact, I didn't even know if he liked me or not. The Phoenix Maiden's voice was a bit gloomy. Her beautiful eyes revealed a trace of confusion. Ling Xiao is indeed very special and very mysterious. He is worthy of your love, but he must have many secrets on him, or perhaps he has a mission. Silly girl, believe in him. As long as you like him, you should believe in him. Moreover, I believe that with your beauty and cuteness he will definitely like you. The moon god's eyes revealed a faint light as she slowly spoke. What about you? Sister Moon God, do you like Ling Xiao? The Phoenix Maiden quickly asked. Me? I don't know. The moon god's mouth revealed a trace of a bitter smile. There was a faint trace of confusion in her eyes. Ling Xiao is also very good to me. He helped me find the Sun Moon Star scripture, and brought me to the War God continent. He protected me and cared for me along the way. Speaking of which, I should like him, but I'm different from you. I have no choice. I also have my own mission to carry. Therefore, liking someone is too extravagant for me. It's not something I can delude myself into. The moon god's voice was very soft. At this time, the originally otherworldly goddess revealed a trace of tenderness that made one's heart ache. Sister Moon God, what mission do you have? Tell us and we can all share your burden. Ling Xiao is so powerful, he will definitely have a way to help you. The Phoenix Maiden said worriedly. He can't help me. No one can help me. This is my destiny. Moreover, coming to the time cave is another reincarnation of my destiny. The moon god faintly smiled. There was a trace of desolation in her eyes. Sister Moon God. The Phoenix Maiden's heart ached as she grabbed the moon god's hand. However, it was incomparably cold to the touch. Little Wu, I still feel that Ling Xiao might already have someone he loves in his heart. That's why you feel that way. However, you have to fight for your own happiness. I believe that as long as you work hard, he will fall in love with you sooner or later. The moon god looked at the Phoenix Maiden and smiled gently. He already has someone he loves? The Phoenix Maiden's heart trembled. Although she had already guessed it, hearing the moon god say it still made her heart ache. It's okay. Sister Moon God, the person he loves hasn't appeared until now. She wasn't even around during Ling Xiao's most difficult time. This means that she isn't worthy of Ling Xiao. I will always be by his side, whether it's life or death. The Phoenix Maiden seemed to be comforting herself. She glanced at Ling Xiao, who was not far away. The gentleness in her eyes seemed to be able to melt all ice. It's good that you can think this way. The moon god smiled slightly. The moon god's eyes suddenly flashed. She could feel a faint wave of energy coming from above. Someone's here? The Phoenix Maiden's eyes also lit up. She immediately stood up. Rumble. Above his head, the ceiling boundary formed by the divine spirit fire suddenly trembled violently. The light was dazzling, as if something was attacking the divine spirit fire. Buzz. A milky white light shone down from above. Instantly, a milky white jade bottle passed through the divine spiritual fire and slowly landed in the underground cave. I was wondering who would be so daring to kill the people of Mingwang Temple. I didn't expect it to be the Phoenix Maiden from the Mountain of Flames and the Moon God from the Moon Palace. Chapter 768. It was a beautiful lady in a luxurious monk robe. She wore a 7 treasures glazed crown and her body was covered in dazzling tassels. Every frown and smile of hers was filled with charm. She exuded a faint Buddhist light and looked pure and dignified. It was as though she was a virtuous monk. She was Ming Fei from Mingwang Temple. Behind her, there were 4 young monks in moon-white monk robes. They all looked very handsome, with delicate features. Their palms were clasped together, and their eyes were filled with tenderness and admiration as they looked at Ming Fei. Ming Fei Jialan. Phoenix Girl's eyes flashed as she looked at Ming Fei Jialan. Ming Fei Jialan was the most outstanding disciple in this generation of Mingwang Temple. Ming Fei Jialan was originally the plaything of the disciples of Mingwang Temple. However, Ming Fei Jialan did the opposite. She had 3,000 male companions and 4 Ming revered subordinates. Her cultivation was unfathomable. Jialan Mingfei was already a half-step supreme being, who had undergone the tribulation of 4 symbols. The 4 venerables behind her had also undergone the tribulation of earth. Mingfei Jialan, why are you here? If you don't want Mingwang Temple to go to war with Moon Palace and Blazing Mountain, please leave. Moon Goddess said calmly as moonlight surrounded her. She was on her guard. Moon Goddess, aren't you asking the obvious? You know very well why I'm here. I didn't expect there to be a set of dragon god's bones in this sea of lava. You killed the people of Mingwang Temple and want to monopolize the dragon god's bones. I don't think there's such a good thing in this world, right? Mingfei Jialan smiled gently. Then what do you want? Phoenix Girl's eyes were filled with coldness. The 5 people in front of him were all extremely powerful. Every one of them was stronger than the Moon Goddess and the Phoenix Lady. If they were to fight, the Moon Goddess and the Phoenix Lady might be able to protect themselves. However, they might delay Ling Xiao and Long Outyan's cultivation. If I'm not wrong, Ling Xiao should be accepting the inheritance of the dragon god's bones, right? He's really cruel. He killed so many people from Mingwang Temple, and one of my Ming revered subordinates. Why don't I let him be my Ming revered? I'll definitely dote on him. Jialan Mingfei giggled. Her eyes were filled with a charming expression. Crazy woman, Ling Xiao would never fall for you. I advise you to scram. Otherwise, don't blame us for being rude. Phoenix Maiden said coldly. Light flashed in her hand, and the phoenix tail-burning sky fan flickered with a scarlet light as it appeared in her palm. It's not up to you to decide whether you like me or not. Don't tell me you like little brother Ling Xiao too? This servant also likes it very much. This servant will not give it to you, Fairy Feng. Jialan Mingfei said with a charming smile. Her beautiful eyes were filled with a faint light, as if they were forming a mysterious vortex that wanted to devour the mind of the phoenix girl. Whoosh! Moon God's eyes flashed coldly. A bright moonlight spread, and the cold air blocked the light in Jialan Mingfei's eyes. Phoenix Lady woke up. Despicable. The phoenix girl's eyes flashed with a cold light. Her body emitted a terrifying aura. It was as if there was a black flame rising behind her. The phoenix tail-burning sky fan moved, causing the void to tremble violently. Phoenix tail-burning sky fan? What a good treasure. Why don't you give it to me? Jialan Mingfei smiled. She instantly turned into a stream of light, and rushed towards the phoenix girl. She lightly slapped her palm towards the phoenix girl. The 5 of you, kill the 2 people in the golden cocoons. Jialan Mingfei's murderous voice rang in the mind of the 4 Ming revered. Yes. The 4 light venerables did not hesitate at all when they heard Jialan Mingfei's order. They immediately turned into streaks of light and charged towards Ling Xiao and Long Outyin. Sister Moon God stopped them. The phoenix girl was anxious and quickly shouted, "Okay." Phoenix girl's eyes flashed with cold killing intent. Light flashed in her hand and a silver sword shone brightly. It emitted a cold light and instantly slashed towards the 4 Ming revered. Tine ancient sword? Not bad, not bad. I like them very much. Give them to me. Jialan Mingfei chuckled. Light flashed in her eyes. She stretched out her other hand and mysterious runes surrounded by Buddhist light blocked the moon god's attack. Buzz. The white jade bottle in Jialan Mingfei's hand flew into the sky. A powerful devouring force rushed towards the phoenix girl and the moon god. Clear glass bottle? The phoenix girl's eyes flashed. She recognized that it was a powerful supreme weapon. It contained a small world that could suck people into it and turn them into pus in a matter of seconds. Jialan Mingfei had relied on the clear glass bottle to break through the layer of divine dragon fire. Otherwise, they would not have been able to enter. Buzz. The phoenix tail-burning sky fan and the Taichu ancient sword shone brightly. At the same time, they emitted a powerful supreme aura to resist the power of the clear glass bottle. My 2 little sisters, you are so beautiful that I am jealous. Why don't I capture you and give you to my senior brothers as concubines? I believe they will be very happy. Although Jialan Mingfei was joking, she did not show any mercy. Her attacks were ruthless and merciless as she attacked the phoenix girl and the moon god. Although the phoenix girl and the moon god were powerful, they had just stepped into the half-step supreme realm. Jialan Mingfei was already a half-step supreme being. Even with the phoenix tail-burning sky fan and the Taichu ancient sword, they were still in a dangerous situation. The phoenix girl was anxious and worried about Ling Xiao. However, she could not break free from Jialan Mingfei's restraint. Boom. Cold killing intent flashed in the eyes of the 4 Ming revered as they charged towards Ling Xiao and Long Outyin. 2 of the Ming revered had a black demon subduing blade in their hands. They channeled their terrifying strength and slashed towards the golden cocoon. They wanted to kill Ling Xiao directly. They did not even consider capturing him alive. Boom. When the demon subduing blade landed on the golden cocoon, sparks flew in all directions. It was as if the blade had landed on a piece of metal. The golden cocoon shone brightly, and a mysterious dragon-shaped energy swept across the sky. It crashed into the chests of the 2 Ming revered and sent them flying. At the same time, the golden light started to dissipate, revealing Ling Xiao and Long Outyin. Damn it! Kill him! The 2 revered light deities had ugly expressions on their faces. The aura emitted by the godly dragon skeleton shocked them greatly. Their hearts trembled. The more it was like this, the more anxious they became. They had to kill Ling Xiao. Otherwise, once Ling Xiao received the inheritance of the dragon god's skeleton, it would be their time to die. Boom. The two light venerables were surrounded by golden blood energy that instantly turned into golden flames, causing their auras to skyrocket. The demon-subduing saber exuded a terrifying aura that seemed to be able to shatter the void as it slashed down at Ling Xiao. They had actually burned their lifeblood essence. The power of the slash was comparable to the full-powered attack of a half-supreme martial highness during the tribulation of four symbols. Buzz. Just as the two demon-subduing blades were about to land on Ling Xiao's body suddenly crumbled apart. Chapter 769. Ling Xiao's body appeared to be in a very strange state. His physical body had completely disintegrated and turned into tiny particles, but they were still floating in the void. His eyes were extremely bright and resplendent, and there was a mysterious light that seemed to be able to penetrate everything. I still have to thank you for helping me overcome the Earth's calamity. In return, I will send you to the Western Paradise to meet your Buddha. His faint voice reverberated in the void. Rumble. A divine light storm surged from Ling Xiao's body, and golden clouds swirled around him. The power of the divine dragon bloodline was completely unleashed. The tiny particles floated in the void, and the boundless law of heaven and earth poured into them. In an instant, they reformed into a perfect physical body. Ling Xiao's skin was as white as jade, and it emitted a faint golden light. His entire body was flawless, and there was a mysterious power of law that permeated the air, making him look like the most perfect piece of art. His black hair fluttered in the wind, and his eyes were like lightning. He sat cross-legged in the void, and a vast and terrifying dragon aura exuded from his body. Roar! A giant golden dragon coiled behind Ling Xiao, and an earth-shattering dragon's roar shook the heavens. It was as if the billions of living beings in the world had begun to tremble. What? The four Ming revered's faces instantly turned ugly, and they couldn't help but reveal a trace of fear. The aura that Ling Xiao exuded was like that of an immemorial divine beast. It was extremely terrifying, and they couldn't help but want to kneel down. How could they have the will to resist? I'll let you all have a taste of the power of the Thousand Dragons God-slaying technique. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a monstrous sharpness, and he sent a palm across the sky, enveloping the four Ming revered. Rumble. The giant golden dragon behind Ling Xiao seemed to have rushed out of an inexplicable space-time. It roared, and its blood was monstrous. Wrapped in unparalleled divine power, it suppressed the four Ming revered. Block it for me. The four Ming revered roared at the same time. Their eyes were filled with incomparable madness, and the blood essence in their bodies began to burn. The four demon-subduing blades were quasi-supreme weapons, and they emitted an unparalleled sharpness as they slashed toward Ling Xiao's palm. They had a thought in their minds. If they couldn't block Ling Xiao's palm, they would die, and it would be an extremely miserable death. Rumble. The terrifying palm print fell like a real dragon fighting in the sky. The incomparably tragic aura instantly rushed into their sea of consciousness, and layers of divine power exploded in their bodies. Bang! The four light sovereigns exploded into a bloody mist at the same time, leaving a huge handprint on the ground. The power of a single palm strike was unimaginable. This was the myriad dragon's god-slaying art. It used the dragon race's bloodline to fuse with the laws of heaven and earth to form a supreme true dragon, or even a divine dragon, erupting with the power to slaughter gods and exterminate demons. When the 10,000 dragons god-slaying art was cultivated to the extreme, one palm strike would cause 10,000 divine dragons to fill the sky. Even a true god would die without a doubt. Ling Xiao had only condensed one true dragon. When he condensed 10,000 true dragons and transformed them into a divine dragon, the 10,000 dragons god-slaying technique would be considered a small success. As for Long Ong, it was said that he had only cultivated to the level of condensing 36 divine dragons. He was still far from the great perfection 10,000 divine dragon. The power of the 10,000 dragons god-slaying art was monstrous. At the very least, only experts of the dragon race with the true dragon bloodline could cultivate it. It could be said that it was the most terrifying divine art that Ling Xiao had encountered so far. Ling Zhao's killing of the 4 light sovereigns shocked Jialon Mingfei, Phoenix Maiden, and Yueshin, who were not far away. Ling Xiao, Jialon Bright Consort's face instantly turned ugly. She never thought that Ling Xiao would wake up at this time. The inheritance of the divine dragon bone should take a long time. How could it end so quickly? Ling Xiao, quickly kill this crazy woman. Phoenix Maiden's face was filled with incomparable joy as she hurriedly shouted. Rumble. Ling Zhao's eyes were cold as he sent out another palm strike. Another true dragon soared through the sky and charged towards Jialon Mingfei. The 10,000 dragons god-slaying art could be said to be unstoppable. It was a top-notch killing art. The ferocious aura caused Jialon Mingfei's expression to change drastically. She did not dare to face it head-on, and hurriedly used the clear glass vase to block in front of her. Wang. The true dragon soared across the sky and slammed onto the clear glass vase. Instantly, the vase was covered in dazzling rays of light, and a thunderous sound reverberated in the air. The terrifying rebounding force caused Jialon Mingfei to tremble. Little brother Ling Xiao, I'm getting more and more interested in you. Remember, you killed my 5 light sovereigns. I'll definitely make you my light sovereign. When that time comes, I'll definitely dote on you. Jialon Mingfei's eyes were filled with incomparable anger. However, she quickly regained her composure and smiled charmingly at Ling Xiao. In an instant, she turned into a ray of light and wanted to leave the underground cave. Since you're here, don't leave. Ling Zhao's eyes were cold as he said indifferently. In an instant, the sky-devouring sword appeared in his hand and emitted a dazzling divine light as it slashed towards Jialon Mingfei. With Ling Zhao's nourishment, the sky-devouring sword's spirituality grew stronger and stronger, causing the power of the sky-devouring sword to become even more terrifying. As the sword pierced out, it was as though the void was about to shatter. Jialon Mingfei's escape route was cut off, and the dazzling divine light seemed to be about to drown her completely. Block it for me. Jialon Mingfei's face revealed a trace of sharpness as she spat out a mouthful of blood essence. The clear glass vase shone brightly and released thousands of rays of auspicious light. It actually shattered the sword chi that erupted from the sky-devouring sword and created a hole in the seal of the mystical dragon fire. Jialon Mingfei's body was surrounded by a dazzling Buddhist light as blood lotuses filled the sky. She actually turned into billions of doppelgangers and rushed out of the underground cave in an instant. Buzz. The clear glass vase also flashed and wanted to escape with Jialon Mingfei. Since you want to leave so badly, I won't keep you. However, I'll keep this clear glass vase as interest. Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a trace of a cold smile. The dragon power around him spread out, and a blazing flame rose into the sky. In an instant, the seal of the mystical dragon fire was repaired. Streaks of divine chains of order swept across the sky and entangled the clear glass vase in an instant. Puff! Jialon Mingfei felt that the clear glass vase was blocked by Ling Xiao and spat out a mouthful of blood. Her face instantly became extremely pale. Little brother Ling Xiao, I'll leave the clear glass vase with you for now. Remember, I'll come back for you. Although Jialon Mingfei was joking, her eyes were extremely gloomy and filled with blazing killing intent. She did not dare to look back and immediately rushed out of the lava sea. Chapter 770. Puff. Jialon Mingfei spat out another mouthful of blood, her eyes filled with disbelief. She felt that the connection between her and the clear glass vase had been severed. This meant that Ling Xiao had erased the primordial spirit imprint on the clear glass vase. Damn it! Ling Xiao, when I get the inheritance of the Mahamayuri, I'll make sure you die a horrible death. Jialon Mingfei's face became extremely ferocious. She looked behind her with hatred and instantly disappeared from the valley. In the underground cave, Ling Xiao used the power of the heaven-devouring secret technique to erase the Yuan spirit imprint left by Imperial Concubine Jialon. If Imperial Concubine Jialon was a supreme being expert, Ling Xiao might not have been able to erase her Yuan spirit imprint so easily. Unfortunately, Jialon Mingfei was only a half-step sovereign. It was easy for Ling Xiao to erase her primordial spirit imprint. The 12th grade blood lotus and the clear glass bottle were both in Ling Xiao's hands. This time, Jialon Mingfei could be said to have gone for wool and come home shorn. Although the clear glass vase did not have a complete primordial spirit imprint, it was still extremely large. Ling Xiao found many treasures in it. There were 50 million pure yang pills. There were also 3 quasi-sovereign weapons, dozens of bottles of elixir pills, 12 sacred herbs, and some martial arts of the Mingwang Temple. These were not small treasures, but Ling Xiao had benefited from them. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He discovered that there was actually a young girl in a white dress in the clear glass bottle. She was tied up with ropes, and her body emitted a faint moonlight. She looked very pretty and gentle. However, there was a mysterious aura on this girl. It was overflowing with an ancient aura, as if she had merged with the aura of the Time Cave. The ancient Yi clan? Ling Xiao's eyes trembled slightly. He could almost instantly confirm that this girl in white was from the ancient Yi clan. However, he did not expect that Ming Fei would capture someone from the ancient Yi clan. Ling Xiao now felt a little regretful. Just now, he had killed the 4 revered light deities with a single palm strike. The myriad dragon god slaying technique was too terrifying. Not only had it annihilated their bodies, but it had also destroyed their primordial spirits. If he had left behind their primordial spirits, he would have been able to interrogate them as to why they had captured the people of the ancient remnant races. Wang. With a flash of light, Ling Xiao released the girl in the white dress and cut the ropes binding her. You bad guys. The girl in the white dress had a pretty face and her skin was as translucent as jade. She was tall and slender, but at this moment her face was filled with fear and panic. Her face was very pale as she looked at Ling Xiao and couldn't help but retreat. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and said, Miss, we are not bad people. Those bad people have already been killed by us. We saved you. You're all bad people. Grandpa said that every time you outsiders come here, you'll start a massacre. All outsiders are bad people. The girl in white said stubbornly. She was a little flustered. She looked around and realized that she was in an underground cave. Moreover, the divine dragon skeleton behind her gave her a fright. Miss, not all outsiders are bad. Just like you ancient races, aren't there good and bad people as well? Believe us, we killed those bad guys and saved you. Ling Xiao smiled bitterly and explained patiently. Let us do it. Phoenix Girl and Moon Goddess smiled and walked towards the girl in the white dress. Little girl, what's your name? We are really good people. Once we leave this place, we will let you go, okay? Phoenix Maiden said softly. However, after the girl in the white dress glanced at Moon Goddess, she suddenly trembled and became extremely emotional. Her eyes were filled with worship, and she actually knelt down to Moon Goddess. Moon Goddess? You are Moon Goddess? Xiaoxi greets Moon Goddess. Grandpa said that Moon Goddess would definitely appear. I didn't expect you to really appear. The girl in the white dress was extremely emotional. Her eyes shone with worship as she bowed sincerely. You've got the wrong person. I'm not Moon Goddess. I'm Moon Goddess. Moon Goddess's eyes flashed with a strange look as she said softly. No, you are Moon Goddess. You look exactly like the deity statue in the tribe. Moon Goddess, follow me back to the tribe. If Grandpa and the others know that you have arrived, they will be very happy. The girl in the white dress said stubbornly. Moon Goddess? When Ling Xiao heard these words, a strange look appeared in his eyes. Thinking about the mysterious power in Moon Goddess's body, he had a few more guesses. Get up first, little girl. First, tell me why you call me Moon Goddess? Moon Goddess was helpless as she walked over to help the girl in the white dress up. The girl in the white dress stood up, and the panic in her eyes disappeared. Instead, they were filled with anticipation and worship. Empress Moon Mother, my name is Xiaoxi. The deity that our Moon tribe worships is the Empress Moon Mother. Every year, during the Great Sacrifice, we will worship the Empress Moon Mother. I have seen the statue of the Empress Moon Mother. You are exactly the same as her. Even your temperament is the same. Ling Xiao could tell that even though Yu Xiaoxi's cultivation was only in the noble realm, her skin was as smooth as ice and her bones were as smooth as jade. She was actually a 1 in a million cultivation genius. Moon tribe? Then why did the people from Mingwang Temple want to capture you? Ling Xiao asked. Yu Xiaoxi looked at Ling Xiao fearfully. She bit her lips and did not speak. Xiaoxi, they're all my friends. They're not bad people. Moon Goddess snickered. This little girl had the temperament of a young girl. Yes. I snuck out from the Moon tribe. I wanted to go to the temple to worship, but I didn't expect to meet those bad people. They captured me and wanted to search my soul. If it wasn't for the sealing power that grandfather left in my primordial spirit, Xiaoxi would have died in the hands of those bad people. As she spoke, Yu Xiaoxi's eyes began to turn red. Xiaoxi, do you know how many ancient races there are in this world? How many tribes are there? Moon Goddess asked. Through the ancient races, it was the fastest way to understand the Cave of Time. I don't know either. I only know that there are 4 major tribes. They are our Moon tribe, the Spirit tribe, the Buddha tribe, and the Demon tribe. There are many other smaller tribes. Originally, the 4 major tribes were as close as brothers. However, grandfather said that the Demon tribe has been possessed by demons and has become our enemy. All these years, the Moon tribe, the Spirit tribe, and the Buddha tribe have joined forces to fight against the Demon tribe. However, the Demon tribe is too strong. Many of our brothers and sisters, uncles, and grandfathers have died in the hands of those demons. Chapter 771. The 4 major tribes. The Moon tribe, the Spirit tribe, the Buddha tribe, and the Demon tribe. Xiaoxi, what is the temple you just mentioned? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he asked. The temple is a great temple. Grandpa said that it's the temple of the creator of this world. It's just that it's very far from our Moon tribe. Every year, only the patriarchs of the 4 major tribes are qualified to enter the temple to worship. I was just curious and wanted to see what the temple looked like, so I sneaked out. Yu Xiaoxi said embarrassedly. Temple? Ling Xiao, could this temple be the Temple of Time? Phoenix Maiden's eyes flashed as she looked at Ling Xiao. It's possible. Ling Xiao nodded as a strange look appeared in his eyes. Temple for major tribes, this is getting closer and closer to the truth. Could this be the small world of the Scarlet Dragon War God? And the 4 major tribes, the Scarlet Dragon War God has 4 generals. Moon Mother, Spirit Sage, Buddha Lord, and Demon Sage. It seems that this world is getting more and more interesting. Sister Moon Goddess, do you have any relationship with one of the 4 divine generals, the Moon Mother? Phoenix Maiden looked at Moon Goddess and asked in shock. You're thinking too much. How is that possible? Moon Goddess smiled gently, but that smile seemed a little forced. No matter what, this is an opportunity. As long as we go to the Moon tribe to take a look, perhaps we can learn more about the truth. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he slowly said. Moon Mother, are you really going to the Moon tribe? Grandpa will definitely be very happy. Everyone will be very happy. Grandpa said that as long as Moon Mother descends, you can lead us to defeat the evil demon tribe. Yu Xiaoxi suddenly became excited. Her big eyes twinkled and her long eyelashes flickered, looking very cute. Ling Xiao, Phoenix Maiden, and Moon Goddess discussed for a while, and decided to go to the Moon tribe to take a look. And Long Outyan's inheritance had reached a critical moment. Ling Xiao and the others waited for another 3 days. 3 days later, the golden cocoon emitted a dazzling light as millions of divine rays bloomed. The golden cocoon split open, and an 8 or 9-year-old boy jumped out. The little boy was naturally Long Outyan. His entire body emitted a resplendent light, and there were divine dragons coiling around him, making him look extremely mysterious. When Ling Xiao saw Long Outyan's cultivation state, his eyeballs nearly popped out of their sockets. To think that this fella had broken through to the half-step supreme state in one go. Moreover, when that majestic and terrifying bloodline power erupted, even Ling Xiao felt his heart palpitate. Could this fellow have condensed the divine dragon bloodline? Ling Xiao clicked his tongue inwardly. Although he had devoured a divine dragon bloodline, he had only stabilized the true dragon bloodline in his body. His bloodline had not changed, but the rainbow blood pearl in his heart had grown slightly larger. The rainbow-colored blood bead that used to be the size of a grain of rice had now become the size of a baby's fist. It flowed with a mysterious light and was dazzling, providing Ling Xiao with boundless vitality. Long Outyan's bloodline aura was something that even Ling Xiao could not see through. Cousin, take my 10,000 dragons god-slaying technique. Haha. Long Ao Tian laughed loudly. Suddenly he threw a punch at Ling Xiao. Roar. A dragon's roar shook the heavens. A golden dragon condensed on Long Outyen's fist. It exploded with a terrifying killing force and charged at Ling Xiao. 10,000 dragons god-slaying technique? Good timing. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed sharply. He also threw out a palm, and a dragon charged at Long Outyen. Damn, cousin. How do you know the 10,000 dragons god-slaying technique? Long Outyen screamed as though he had seen a ghost. Rumble. When the fist and the palm collided, the heavens and the earth rumbled. The two golden dragons exploded at the same time. The earth trembled violently, and the dazzling divine light disappeared at the same time. Ling Xiao's figure did not change, but Long Outyen somersaulted a few times in the void before regaining his balance. Cousin, you have also obtained the Imperial Dragon Scripture and the 10,000 Dragons God-slaying technique? Long Outyen asked. That's right. Ling Xiao nodded with a smile. What a freak. But only now did I know that this is the complete Imperial Dragon Scripture and the 10,000 Dragons God-slaying technique. Amazing. Let's see who dares to act tough in front of me in the future. That Zhao Ritian, I'll beat him up every time I see him. Long Outyen said arrogantly. Alright, don't be so cocky. We should go. Ling Xiao slapped Long Outyen's head. Buzz. Ling Xiao kept the huge divine dragon's bone. When he returned to the Crystal Palace, he could bury the divine dragon's bone in the dragon transformation pool, or the dragon tomb. It could be considered as fulfilling one of Senior Long Ang's wishes. Most importantly, the Imperial Dragon Scripture and the 10,000 Dragons God-slaying technique finally had a successor. This little sister is so pretty. How old is she? Are you betrothed to someone? Long Outyen's eyes lit up when he saw Yu Xiaoxi. He said with a smile. Little hooligan. Yu Xiaoxi glared at him and said angrily. Yu Xiaoxi was only 14 or 15 years old, but Long Outyen was only 8 or 9 years old. He was already acting like he was flirting with an innocent woman. It was funny no matter how one looked at it. I'm not a hooligan. Little sister. I'm the future leader of the dragon tribe. I'll surpass all the ancestors of the dragon tribe and become the #1 dragon in the universe, Long Outyen. If you become my wife, you'll definitely be glorious. Long Outyen patted his chest and said with a smile on his face. Yu Xiaoxi snorted coldly and simply turned her head away, no longer paying attention to him. Shut up. Ling Xiao glared at Long Outyen with a headache. Only then did Long Outyen stop talking. The 5 of them left the valley and headed toward the Moon Tribe according to the direction Yu Xiaoxi had pointed out. The Moon Tribe was hundreds of thousands of miles away from here. It was located on a plain at the end of the mountain range. Ling Xiao rode the sky-devouring sword and turned into a stream of light. He was extremely fast and headed toward the Moon Tribe. Below them was a continuous mountain range. Divine mountains rose from the ground and pierced the clouds, exuding a majestic and vigorous aura. In the mountain range, ancient trees towered into the sky and clouds lingered. Powerful demonic beasts roared and their fierce auras shook the heavens and earth. Along the way, Long Outyen was eager to jump down and kill a few powerful beasts. However, he was stopped by Ling Xiao. However, the sky was not safe. Many powerful flying demonic beasts discovered Ling Xiao and the others. Long Outyen volunteered to kill the powerful demonic beasts along the way. Ling Xiao, on the other hand, was happy to be free. After Long Outyen killed the beasts, he would store the corpses and give them to Ling Xiao to cook. Chapter 772. Just like that, Ling Xiao and the rest cultivated as they traveled. The task of killing the beasts was left to Long Outyen. In the beginning, Yu Xiaoxi was still a little reserved. However, she began to get familiar with Ling Xiao and the rest. She even fought with Long Outyen for food. Even Ling Xiao was a little surprised. This skinny little girl ate like a demonic beast. The huge demonic beast leg was swallowed into her stomach in just a few bites. After eating, the little girl began to sleep. The essence within the meat automatically melted in her body, allowing her cultivation to slowly improve. Xiaoxi's physique is not ordinary. Ling Zhao's eyes flickered as he spoke slowly. That's right. It's like the legendary lunar eclipse physique. It devours the essence of heaven and earth and the vitality of living beings to cultivate and grow. It's like the legendary Tao Tai. Moon God nodded. Lunar eclipse physique? No wonder this silly girl can eat so much. She's just a pig. Long Outyin said with some resentment. Because Yu Xiaoxi always fought with him for food. He changed the way he addressed Yu Xiaoxi from little sister to silly girl. A few days later, they had already flown over 100,000 miles. The mountain range below gradually became beautiful. It was not like the mountain range in the depths, which was desolate, ancient and inaccessible. Roar. A powerful beast roar resounded. In the mountain range below, countless towering ancient trees collapsed and turned into dust. A huge black bear that was over 100 feet tall charged out of the mountain range. Its fur was like steel needles, and it emitted an extremely ferocious aura. Its eyes were incomparably red, filled with bloodthirst and cruelty. In front of the black bear, there were over a dozen strong men in beast skins. They held bows and spears in their hands, and were running for their lives. Their eyes were filled with despair. Ling Xiao could see that the black bear's aura was extremely terrifying. It was already a powerful half-step demon venerable. It was not far from becoming a true demon venerable. As for those strong men, their cultivation ranged from the monarch realm to the half-step supreme realm. Most of them were heavily injured, so they were no match for the black bear. The primordial variant, the demonic earth bear? Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of light as he spoke slowly. Cousin, should we make a move? This demonic earth bear is really powerful. I really want to compete with it. I want to see if it's stronger, or if I, Long Outyin, am stronger. Rumble. The earth trembled, and the countless towering ancient trees and small hills that stood in front of the demonic earth bear were all smashed into powder by its rampage. When the huge bear paw was swung out, even a boulder of a few million pounds would be crushed in an instant. Yu Xiaoxi was also awakened by this huge commotion. When she saw the dozen strong men below, she immediately panicked. She hurriedly said, Big Brother Ling, those are my people from the Moon Tribe. I beg you, please save them. People from the Moon Tribe? Aotian, kill that black bear. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he spoke without hesitation. All right, cousin, just watch. Long Outyin suddenly jumped up as if he was injected with chicken blood. His eyes were filled with excitement as he turned into a ray of golden light and rushed towards the demonic earth bear. The dozen people from the Moon Tribe also saw Long Outyin. Immediately, their eyes were filled with anxiety as they shouted, Child, run. You're no match for that black bear. Hee hee, uncles, watch me kill this beast for you. Long Outyin said coquettishly as he rushed towards the black bear at an even faster speed. Seeing Long Outyin rushing over, the black bear didn't even look at him as it swung its paw at him. Bastard, how dare you look down on me? Long Outyin was instantly enraged. Rumble. Long Outyin's body emitted a bright light as he punched the air. Suddenly, a vast dragon's aura exploded as a golden dragon rushed towards the demonic earth bear. Thousand Dragons God-slaying technique. Long Outyin felt that he was being looked down on by the demonic earth bear. He was furious and immediately used his killer move. Roar. The demonic earth bear's body trembled as a trace of fear appeared in its eyes. It suddenly roared as black demonic chi rose around its body as it spat out a ray of black divine light from its mouth. There was a black demonic pill floating there, containing an incomparably terrifying power. Clearly, the demonic earth bear also felt the danger. Facing the Thousand Dragons God-slaying technique, it even spat out its demonic pill. Rumble. A terrifying divine light exploded. Long Outyin's punch was incomparably terrifying. It actually broke through the black demonic chi and landed on the demonic pill. Crack! The demonic earth bear's demonic pill exploded. Long Outyin's momentum didn't decrease. His body was like a flash of golden lightning as he directly pierced through the demonic earth bear's chest. A huge hole appeared in the demonic earth bear's chest as its heart exploded into pieces. Roar. However, the demonic earth bear's vitality was extremely strong. This kind of injury wasn't enough to kill it, but it was enough to scare it out of its wits. It roared at Long Outyin, and was so frightened that it turned around and ran. You want to run? I want to eat grilled bear paws. Get back here. Long Outyin roared and instantly chased after the demonic earth bear. Rumble. A terrifying battle broke out. Countless towering ancient trees collapsed and rocks flew everywhere. However, the demonic earth bear was still killed by Long Outyin in the end. Its huge body slammed heavily onto the ground, and it died. Until its death, the demonic earth bear's eyes were still filled with disbelief. It couldn't believe that such a small ant could kill it. As for the dozen or so burly men of the Moon tribe, they were all dumbfounded. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. An 8 or 9-year-old boy was actually so violent that he killed an earth demon bear with brute force. Who was this little boy? Could it be that he was a divine beast's cub? Rumble. Long Outyin walked towards them with the demonic earth bear's corpse in his hand. His eyes were filled with pride. His huge body exuded a ferocious aura that made the dozen or so burly men feel as if they were dreaming. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. At this moment, Ling Xiao brought Phoenix Maiden, Yueshan and Yu Xiaoxi down from the void. Outsiders. The burly man in the lead was extremely burly. He held a mountain-splitting axe in his hand, and his body was filled with muscles. When he saw Ling Xiao and the others, his expression changed instantly, revealing a deep sense of vigilance. As for the dozen or so burly men of the Moon tribe, they instantly picked up their weapons and stared at Ling Xiao and the others warily. Uncle Iron, they are good people, not bad people. They saved me. Chapter 773. Xiaoxi? Why are you here? Come over quickly. None of the outsiders are good. The middle-aged man with the mountain axe said anxiously. Uncle Tai, they are really not bad people. They saved me. Yu Xiaoxi told him how she ran away from home, how she was caught by the people from Mingwang Temple, and how she was saved by Ling Xiao and the others. Did they really save you? The middle-aged man with the mountain-splitting axe was a little skeptical, but the vigilance in his eyes gradually relaxed. Yes, Uncle Tai. I even met Lady Moon Mother. Look, isn't she exactly the same as Lady Moon Mother? Yu Xiaoxi said quickly and dragged Moon Goddess out. Moon Mother? It's really Moon Mother. When the men of the Moon tribe saw the Moon God, they were stunned. Their faces were filled with joy. Their eyes were sincere and respectful as they knelt down in front of Moon Goddess. I'm not your Moon Mother. Everyone, please get up. Moon Goddess said helplessly. The middle-aged man with the mountain axe was called Yu Tai. Although he was shocked, he did not kneel down. Instead, he asked doubtfully, You're only a half-step to Supreme Martial Artist. You're not Moon Mother. Who are you? Why do you look so much like Moon Mother? Yu Tai was also a half-step to Supreme Martial Artist, which was similar to Moon Goddess. Hence, although he was shocked by Moon Goddess' appearance, he did not kneel down like the other men. I'm the Holy Maiden of Moon Palace. My name is Moon Goddess. Moon Goddess said faintly. Moon Goddess. Moon Goddess. Could this be God's will? Lady. Thank you for saving Xiaoxi. Please follow me back to Moon Tribe. Perhaps only the old tribe leader will know if you're Moon Mother. Yu Tai sighed. His face was filled with excitement, but he still calmed himself down and said, Uncle Tai, how did you guys get so badly injured? Yu Xiaoxi asked worriedly. There was a bloody wound on Yu Tai's chest, which was filled with a layer of purple murderous aura. The strong men were also injured and looked extremely weak. This is Star Power? Did you meet the people from Star Palace? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he looked at Yu Tai. I don't know which force they belong to. I only know that they can communicate with the power of the stars. When they met us, they attacked us without saying anything. They tried to force us to tell them the whereabouts of the longevity grass. But we don't even know what longevity grass is. Yuetai said with a wry smile. To be able to communicate with the power of stars, he must be from Star Palace. I didn't expect them to be looking for the longevity grass as well. Ling Xiao furrowed his brows. Previously, Mu Tianji had given him the whereabouts of the longevity grass. It seemed that this supreme divine herb was also being targeted by other martial holy lands. Even the Star Palace was looking for the longevity grass. Back then, Mu Tianji had only given Ling Xiao a rough map which stated that the longevity grass was located in the east of the Great Lake, north of the Long River, the intersection of two mountains, and the dragon vein nurtures the spirit. Ever since Ling Xiao entered the time cave, he didn't find any clues. Could it be that the longevity grass was nearby? People from Star Palace? Could it be Ziwei Xingzi and Sky-Burning Monster Emperor? Those bastards are not good people. If I see them, I will teach them a lesson. Long Outyan said proudly. Swoosh. Light flashed in Ling Xiao's hand, and more than 10 green elixirs fell into the hands of Yuetai and the rest. These are healing elixirs. Take them and you will recover quickly. Ling Xiao said. These were all from Jialan Mingfei. There were more than 100 Great Path elixirs. Ling Xiao didn't feel the pinch at all. Healing elixirs? I didn't expect you to be a great alchemist. Sorry for the disrespect. Yuetai looked at the elixirs in his hand and was shocked. He looked at Ling Xiao with respect. Isn't this just an ordinary elixir? Do you have such a treasure? Long Outyan asked, puzzled. You don't know. In the time cave, there are too few people who can refine elixirs and weapons. Yuetai sighed softly and said helplessly. Although the ancient Yi tribe in the time cave had powerful martial arts, much of the knowledge of refining elixirs and weapons had been lost or was in the hands of experts. Ordinary people couldn't come into contact with them. Take the alchemists for example. In the entire Moon tribe, only the old clan leader knew how to refine elixirs. Hence, elixirs that were ordinary to Ling Xiao and the rest were extremely precious to Yuetai. The mountain-splitting axe that Yuetai used was an ancient doctrine weapon. As for the weapons in the hands of the other big men, some of them were just ordinary spiritual weapons. They had powerful strength, but they did not have the corresponding divine weapons. After Yuetai and the rest of the Moon tribe swallowed the elixirs that Ling Xiao gave them, their injuries healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. In fact, even without the elixirs, these ancient Yi tribe people had strong vitality and strong physiques. They would recover in no time. All right, Uncle Tai, let's go back to the tribe. Yu Xiaoxi urged. Xiaoxi, why are you in such a hurry to go back? You sneaked out this time. Let's see how your grandfather will deal with you when we get back. Yuetai said with a smile. Uncle Tai, I found the Moon Mother. Not only am I not at fault, but I've also done a meritorious deed. Grandfather definitely won't punish me. Yu Xiaoxi said with a smile. Yuetai shook his head helplessly. Under Yuetia's lead, Ling Xiao and the rest passed through a huge mountain range in front of them, and saw a vast plain. There was a huge stone city in front of them. It looked ancient and weathered, like a huge fierce beast that was hibernating on the ground. Ling Xiao could feel the vibrations of a powerful ancient god formation. Seemed like there was an utmost powerful being who had carved out a formation in this city in order to protect the living beings within this city. Above the huge city gate, there were 3 ancient words. City of the Moon. That's the City of the Moon, the holy city of our Moon tribe. Yu Xiaoxi said proudly. At the city gate, there were a few strong men wearing animal skins and holding weapons. Each of them had strong vitality and sharp eyes. When they saw Yuetai and the rest return, they immediately revealed looks of joy. Commander Tai, you're back? It seems that the harvest this time is not small? The strong men said with a smile, looking at the huge fierce beasts carried by Yuetai and the rest. Especially the earth demonic bear that Long Outyan was dragging, they felt incomparably shocked. At the same time, they looked at Ling Xiao and the rest with some vigilance. The aura of the outsiders was completely different from theirs. They could easily distinguish them. Don't say any more. This time, we suffered a great loss and even lost a few brothers. You don't have to worry. These distinguished guests are good friends of our Moon tribe. They saved Xiaoxi. Where's the old chief? I want to see him. Yuetai sighed softly and said to the strong men. Chapter 774. The old patriarch is in the Moon Mother's divine palace. Commander Tai, please. The men let Yuetai into the City of the Moon. The City of the Moon looked spacious and clean. There were huge stone houses on both sides, and they emanated an ancient and rough aura. Yuetai looked at Ling Xiao and the Moon Goddess and said, Esteemed guests, please come with me to the divine palace to see the old patriarch. Commander Yu, please lead the way. Ling Xiao said with a faint smile, a faint light flashing in his eyes. The City of the Moon wasn't large, and it covered an area of 50 kilometers. According to Yu Xiaoxi, the entire Moon tribe only had a little over 20,000 people. Ling Xiao could sense that most of the members of the Moon tribe were very strong. All of them had boundless vitality, and the adult men were at least at the noble realm or the monarch realm. There were even many half-step exalts in the city of the moon. Ling Xiao could even sense a few obscure and powerful auras. They were the exalts of the Moon tribe. The entire Moon tribe was comparable to a holy land of the martial Dao in the outside world. Under Yu Tai and Yu Xiaoxi's lead, Ling Xiao, the Phoenix Maiden, the Moon Goddess, and Long Outyin passed through the spacious streets and walked towards the center of the city. After passing through a group of buildings, the scene before them suddenly opened up. This was a vast plaza, paved with a type of silver stone. It looked clean and tidy, and emitted rays of resplendent light. Sister Moon Goddess, look at that statue. The Phoenix Maiden's gaze shook as she pointed towards the center of the square. At the center of the square stood a statue that was over 300 meters tall. It was a woman in a white robe. Her skin was snow white, her figure was tall, and her face was beautiful. There was a full moon behind her, and her eyes were deep and dazzling as she looked into the distance. Her entire body emanated a holy and mysterious aura. It was awe-inspiring and inviolable, and it made one feel a sense of worship at a glance. Most importantly, the woman's appearance was exactly the same as the Moon Goddess. Even her aura was extremely similar. Sister Moon Goddess, this is the Moon Mother. I didn't lie to you, right? Yu Xiaoxi looked at the statue with admiration. Ling Xiao, Phoenix Maiden, and Long Outyin stared at the statue in front of them in astonishment. They were too similar, or rather, they were the same person. Could it be that the Moon Goddess was the reincarnation of the Moon Mother? Ling Xiao glanced at the Moon God with a strange look in his eyes. Moon God's eyes looked confused. She slowly walked toward the statue. Wang. The statue suddenly began to tremble, and a bright light spread out. A faint halo fell, as if the holy moonlight was floating down. The statue seemed to have come alive. Almost everyone had a feeling that the statue's eyes were staring at the Moon God. Moon God's body trembled. Her whole body glowed with light. A mysterious wave seemed to resonate with the statue. Rumble. At the end of the square, the Black Palace instantly opened. An old man with white hair and a beard slowly walked out of the palace, holding a cane. He was wearing hemp clothes. He looked at Moon God and did not seem surprised. You're back. The old voice was extremely gentle as it reverberated in the square. Who am I? Moon God's eyes were filled with confusion as she asked softly. You are you, and you are also the Moon Mother. The old man in the linen robe said slowly. Brother Ling, he's my grandfather, and also the chief of the Moon tribe. Grandfather doesn't seem surprised at all. Could it be that he already knew that Sister Moon God would come? Yu Xiaoxi said in surprise. Ling Xiao looked deeply at the old man in the linen robe. The chief of the Moon tribe, Yu Chongshan, had an unfathomable aura. It was very likely that he had already become a titled supreme. The most powerful person in the Moon tribe was shrouded in a layer of aura that even Ling Xiao couldn't see through. Moon Mother, is it? No, I'm not her. I'm Moon God. Moon God's eyes showed a hint of pain as she struggled to speak. Child, some responsibilities can't be avoided. Some things can only be borne by one person. No matter who you are, you're back. After 1,000,000 years, it will be another reincarnation. Are you ready? Yu Chongshan's eyes were as clear as water as he looked at Moon God. I don't know. Moon God shook her head. Please come in. I will answer all your questions. Yu Chongshan smiled as he looked at Ling Xiao and the others and said slowly. Especially when his gaze landed on Ling Xiao, his eyes narrowed abruptly, but he quickly regained his composure. Wang. Yu Chongshan waved his sleeve, and the light on the statue dissipated. The statue slowly returned to its original state. Ling Xiao, Phoenix Maiden, and Long Outyin followed Yu Chongshan into the palace. Yu Tai bowed respectfully to Yu Chongshan, then turned and left. Yu Xiaoxi wanted to leave, but out of curiosity, she quietly followed into the palace. The palace was very spacious, but there was a faint moonlight shining down. It was as if they were in the Moon Palace. The light around them was gentle like water, with a trace of mysterious fluctuation. Xiaoxi, you're being stubborn again. If it weren't for these guests, even grandfather wouldn't have been able to save you. Yu Chongshan looked at Yu Xiaoxi sternly, but there was a hint of helplessness and affection. I know, grandfather. Didn't I bring the Moon Mother back? It's considered as making up for my mistake. Yu Xiaoxi obediently lowered her head and muttered softly. All right, it's considered a great contribution. Yu Chongshan shook his head, then looked at Ling Xiao and the rest and smiled. I've embarrassed myself in front of you. May I know which part of the War God continent you're from? Ling Xiao from Chongqing sect. Feng Wu from Flaming Mountain. Long Outyin from Crystal Palace. Ling Xiao, Phoenix Maiden, and Long Outyin were stunned for a moment, but they still introduced themselves. Flaming Mountain and Crystal Palace? So it's a child with the Phoenix bloodline and Dragon bloodline. But I don't think I've heard of Chongqing sect before. Young friend Ling Xiao, you're not from the War God Temple? Yu Chongshan smiled. Chongqing sect is just a holy land of martial arts 10,000 years ago. But it hasn't been around for long, so it's understandable that clan leader Yu doesn't know about it. But what I don't understand is why must I be from the War God Temple? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he asked slowly. Young friend Ling Xiao, you have the inheritance of the Scarlet Dragon War God, but you're not from the War God Temple. This really makes me a little confused. Yu Chongshan smiled. So clan leader Yu is very familiar with the Scarlet Dragon War God and the War God Temple? Could it be that the rumors are true? That the War God Temple is the Scarlet Dragon War God's legacy? Ling Xiao was shocked. He didn't expect Yu Chongshan to know that he had the inheritance of the Scarlet Dragon War God. He didn't know if Yu Chongshan was talking about the Divine Stone, or the wordless Heavenly Book. I know a little. The Scarlet Dragon War God didn't leave behind any legacy. The War God Temple is just a villain who stole the War God's legacy. Chapter 775. Steal? Clan leader Yu. It is said that the War God Temple is the orthodoxy left behind by the Scarlet Dragon War God. They often act in the name of the Scarlet Dragon War God. In the War God Temple, there are the War God, the left and right celestial venerables, the 4 great guardian kings, and the 18 divine generals. Does clan leader Yu know about this? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he slowly asked. I think little friend Ling should have already guessed it. The Scarlet Dragon War God's 4 divine generals are the spiritual venerables, the Moon Mother, the Buddha Lord, and the Demon Sage. Our Moon tribe is the orthodoxy of the Moon Mother. According to what we know, the Scarlet Dragon War God fought against millions of heavenly demons alone 1,000,000 years ago. In the end, he died in battle, and did not leave behind any orthodoxy. The people of the War God Temple inadvertently obtained the majority of the Scarlet Dragon War God's inheritance. That is why they claim to be the orthodoxy of the Scarlet Dragon War God. However, in the beginning, perhaps they really wanted to fight against the heavenly demons from the outside. As time passed, their ambitions were gradually exposed. They are no longer the War God Temple of the past. Yu Chongshan slowly said, his eyes flashing with a trace of sharpness. Clan leader Yu, if the Moon tribe is the orthodoxy of the Moon Mother, then the other 3 tribes are the orthodoxy of the spiritual venerables, the Buddha Lord and the Demon Sage? Why are you all staying in the time cave and not returning to the War God continent? Ling Xiao slowly asked. These ancient races had stayed in the time cave for 1,000,000 years, and were unwilling to leave. What was their purpose? Yu Chongshan nodded and said, That's right. The other 3 tribes are the orthodoxies of the spiritual venerables, the Buddha Lord and the Demon Sage. The Spirit tribe and the Buddha tribe are on the same side as us. However, the Demon tribe has long been corrupted by the heavenly demons. They have long become a group of ambitious people. We stayed to protect the temple and wait for the Scarlet Dragon War God's true inheritor and descendants. The Scarlet Dragon War God's true inheritor and descendants? Could it be that you still haven't waited 1,000,000 years? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. He had the wordless Heavenly Book, which was known as the Scarlet Dragon War God's most powerful treasure. Could it be considered the Scarlet Dragon War God's true inheritor and descendants? There was also the descendant of the Scarlet Dragon War God. Ling Xiao unconsciously thought of Luo Luo. No. Yu Chongshan's eyes had a hint of vicissitudes as he slowly said. The central shrine of the Time Cave contains the imperial edict of the Scarlet Dragon War God. Whoever obtains the edict will be the true successor of the Scarlet Dragon War God. and the true master of our 4 tribes. After Yu Chongshan finished speaking, he looked at Ling Xiao meaningfully. Scarlet Dragon War God's Imperial Edict? If Luo Luo is really the descendant of the Scarlet Dragon War God, then the reason why the War God Temple sent people to capture Luo Luo is probably because of the Scarlet Dragon War God's Imperial Edict. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he thought to himself. He felt that he had finally grasped the secret of the Heaven's Choice Assembly. He had never believed that the War God Temple's goal in holding the Heaven's Choice Assembly was simple. From the looks of it, the Imperial Edict was probably one of their goals. Could it be that the reason they gathered the countless geniuses of the War God continent was to select the descendants of the Scarlet Dragon War God, as well as those who could grasp the Divine Edict? Thinking of this, Ling Xiao began to worry. Luo Luo was currently in the Crystal Palace, but Long Lai wasn't there. If the War God Temple was determined to capture Luo Luo, the Crystal Palace wouldn't be able to resist. Then the War God Temple holding the Heaven's Choice Assembly, could it be to select the successor of the Imperial Edict? Long Outyin couldn't help but ask. I'm not sure, but it's very likely. Yu Chongshan slowly said. Other than our 4 tribes guarding the shrine, there is also an old servant in the Destiny Shrine. He can control a portion of the shrine's power. Every time the time cave opens, it should be him who operates it. The mission of our 4 tribes is to wait for the Scarlet Dragon War God's successor, or descendant to appear. As for other things, we don't participate. However, in the Heaven's Choice Assembly that is held every 1,000 years, you outsiders will cause a large number of massacres. Therefore, we ancient races stay away from you and even view you as an enemy. Ling Xiao nodded. Yu Chongshan's words had answered most of his questions. Next, he asked the most important question. Is the Moon Goddess really the reincarnation of the Moon Mother? When Ling Xiao asked this question, the Moon Goddess' body trembled. Everyone stared at Yu Chongshan, not saying a word. No, Yu Chongshan smiled faintly. His answer allowed Ling Xiao and the Moon Goddess to heave a sigh of relief. However, what he said next caused everyone's hearts to skip a beat. The Moon Goddess is not the reincarnation of the Moon Mother. It is the Moon Mother. What? The Moon Goddess and Phoenix Maiden trembled and couldn't help but stand up. Calm down and listen to my explanation, Yu Chongshan said calmly. In the Great Calamity 1,000,000 years ago, the Scarlet Dragon War God died in battle, but he saved the 4 divine generals. After that battle, the 4 divine generals were heavily injured and fell into a deep slumber. According to the records of our Moon tribe, the Moon Mother also fell into a deep slumber. She only left behind a trace of spiritual energy to develop. Her primordial spirit is in deep slumber and recuperating. Therefore, this Moon Goddess is the manifestation of the spiritual energy left behind by the Moon Mother. The real Moon Mother is in deep slumber in her body. She may be in deep slumber for a long time, or it may be very short. No one knows. The truth may be cruel, but it is the truth. Yu Chongshan's words caused the Moon Goddess' face to turn pale. To her, this result was extremely cruel. If the Moon Goddess was the reincarnation of the Moon Mother, it would be fine. However, Yu Chongshan said that the Moon Goddess' primordial spirit was only a trace of spiritual energy left behind by the Moon Mother. This meant that if the Moon Mother woke up, the Moon Goddess would die at any time. That would be no different from dying for real. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He had long sensed that there was a mysterious force in the Moon Goddess body. According to what Yu Chongshan said, it was the sleeping Moon Mother? Leader Yu, according to what you said, when the Moon Mother wakes up, will the Moon Goddess' primordial spirit completely disappear? Phoenix Maiden asked anxiously. It may be cruel, but it is true. Yu Chongshan nodded and looked at the Moon Goddess apologetically. This is too unfair. Why does the Moon Goddess have to die when the Moon Mother wakes up? Why can't she find another body? Why must she do this? Phoenix Maiden asked anxiously. There is no other way. You can say that Miss Yueshin's primordial spirit is a part of the Moon Mother's primordial spirit. She has no choice. Chapter 776. Patriarch Yu, what if we cut off Yueshin's primordial spirit from this body and rebuild it for her? Wouldn't this prevent Yueshin from being annihilated? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he slowly asked. Impossible. Miss Yueshin's primordial spirit cannot leave this body. If it does, she will die immediately. She can only wait for the Moon Mother to wake up. Maybe the Moon Mother will be merciful and leave her primordial spirit. Yu Chongshan shook his head. The possibility of this happening was very small. This news was very cruel. Phoenix Maiden and Yu Xiaoxi's eyes turned red. Don't be sad. Life and death are fated. If the Moon Mother wakes up, it will be a good thing. At that time, she will be able to stop the War God Temple's conspiracy. Even if the Sky Demon comes, she will be able to stop this catastrophe. Yueshin smiled slightly. However, her face was pale and her smile was heart-wrenching. Ling Xiao frowned. This was an unsolvable answer. He naturally didn't want Yueshin to be annihilated. Even the Moon Mother didn't have the qualifications to do so. Grandpa, is there really no way? Sister Yueshin is very good. I don't want her to die like this. Yu Xiaoxi said coquettishly as she hugged Yu Chongshan's arm. Her eyes were full of guilt. This little girl was kind-hearted. She probably thought that it was because he brought Yueshin back to the Moon Tribe that she learned this cruel news. Maybe there is a way, but I can't be sure. Yu Chongshan's eyes flashed with a trace of light. What way? Grandpa, tell me quickly. Yu Xiaoxi's eyes lit up. Yu Chongshan looked at Ling Xiao meaningfully and said, if this little friendling can obtain the Scarlet Dragon War God's imperial decree, maybe there will be a way in the Flowing Time Temple. The Scarlet Dragon War God's imperial decree? Ling Xiao nodded with a trace of decisiveness in his eyes. Although the Heavenly Selection Convention had been held so many times, it seemed that no one could obtain the imperial decree. However, Ling Xiao had the wordless heavenly book. Patriarch Yu, why are you so sure that I can obtain the imperial decree? Ling Xiao looked at Yu Chongshan with some doubt. Feeling. Yu Chongshan smiled. Most importantly, I also hate the War God Temple. I don't want our 4 tribes to have to listen to the War God Temple. Ling Xiao nodded. After chatting for a while, they left the Divine Palace. The Moon Goddess did not seem to be affected. Her temperament was still cold, and her face was beautiful. Her expression was calm. However, Phoenix Maiden and Yu Xiaoxi were very worried. Their eyes were slightly red. However, Yu Chongshan's words gave them a glimmer of hope. They all hoped that Ling Xiao would be able to obtain the Scarlet Dragon War God's imperial decree. Ling Xiao also took the opportunity to ask Yu Chongshan about the whereabouts of the longevity grass. As expected, there was indeed such a place around the Moon Tribe. To the east of the Great Swamp, to the north of the Long River, 2 mountains converged, and the dragon vein nurtured the spirit. According to Yu Chongshan, there was a mountain range 30,000 li north of the Moon Tribe. The terrain there matched the description of these words. Ling Xiao immediately decided to search for the longevity grass. The people of the Star Palace were already nearby. If they were the first to find the longevity grass, it would be troublesome. He absolutely had to obtain this supreme divine medicine. The longevity grass was the legendary divine herb left behind by Duguqiubai. Ling Xiao even faintly felt that if he could find the longevity grass, he might be able to find the true inheritance of Duguqiubai. Although the divine sword technique, demonic sword supreme sutra, and longevity sword aura were the 3 great sword techniques created by Duguqiubai when he was young, middle-aged and old, they were not the true inheritance of Duguqiubai. Ling Xiao also wanted to see what kind of demeanor Duguqiubai, who had dominated the heavens and swept across the 8 barren lands, was like. Ling Xiao told them that he was going to look for the longevity grass. Phoenix Lady, Moon God, and Long Outyin all wanted to go with Ling Xiao. Long Outyin in particular was the happiest. He was the most enthusiastic when it came to treasure hunting. You guys don't have to go. It's more convenient for me to go alone. Moreover, we found traces of the Star Palace. It's inevitable that other martial arts holy lands have their eyes on the longevity grass. You guys should stay in the Moon City for now. Ling Xiao looked at the 3 of them and said slowly, Cousin, don't look down on me. I, Long Outyin, have inherited the Divine Dragon's inheritance. My 1,000 Dragons God-slaying technique can slay demons and gods. What bullshit Star Palace? I can beat them all. Long Outyin said arrogantly and insisted on going. The three of you have advanced to half-step Supreme Being, and can pass through the Earth's calamity. My Moon City has a Xianhuang Mother Energy Pool that can help you pass through the Earth's calamity. To thank the three of you for saving Xiaoxi, I can make an exception, and let you enter the Xianhuang Mother Energy Pool to cultivate. Yu Chongshan looked at Phoenix Maiden, Moon Goddess, and Long Outyan and said with a smile, Xianhuang Mother Energy Pool? I'll agree on their behalf. Thank you, Clan Leader Yu. Ling Xiao knew that this was Yu Chongshan's good intentions, and immediately agreed without any explanation. In the end, Phoenix Maiden and Moon Goddess nodded their heads. Long Outyan also agreed helplessly. In the Time Moon Cave, there were dangers everywhere. It was also a good thing to be able to increase one's cultivation as much as possible. After arranging everything, Ling Xiao bid farewell to Yu Chongshan and left the Moon City. A new war god is about to be born. It seems like our four major tribes can finally return to our homeland. Yu Chongshan looked at Ling Xiao's departing figure and muttered to himself. There was a trace of anticipation in his eyes. After Ling Xiao left the Moon City, he used a secret teleportation technique and headed towards the vast mountain range in the north. His speed was extremely fast, and he used the sky-devouring secret technique to conceal his aura. Therefore, he didn't alarm any powerful beasts. The mountain range below was vast and majestic. Numerous mountains rose steeply from the ground, their precipitous peaks piercing through the clouds. Ancient trees towered into the sky, and clouds and mist coiled around them, containing the boundless essence of heaven and earth. It was like an ancient mythological world, uncivilized and ancient. Powerful beasts and primordial species that couldn't be seen in the war god continent were actually abundant in this mountain range. Powerful beasts swallowed the essence of heaven and earth. Their roars shook the heavens and earth. Some even fought in the mountain range, shattering countless mountains. Ling Xiao used his extreme speed and crossed 30,000 miles in a few hours. He arrived at an unfamiliar mountain range. To the east of the Great Swamp, to the north of the Long River, two mountains converge and the dragon vein nourishes the spirit. Looks like it should be in that area. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he saw a vast river in front of him. It rushed out from the mountain range, and was at least 100 miles wide. Huge waves surged into the sky and water vapor filled the air. It was extremely majestic. Chapter 777. The lake in front of him was like an ocean. It was a large swamp. To the east of the lake, there were two mountain peaks side by side. A large river flowed between the mountain peaks towards the east. The two mountain peaks stretched for thousands of miles. It was very majestic. The scene in front of him was almost exactly the same as described by the words. It should be here. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a glint. He flew towards the area between the two mountain peaks. Between the two mountain peaks, in addition to the large river flowing towards the east, there was a very deep valley. Spiritual qi was dense and the essence of heaven and earth gathered. It made the vegetation here very exuberant. There were exotic flowers and plants everywhere. But standing in front of the valley, Ling Xiao felt a very dangerous fluctuation coming from the valley. This is the aura of a demon venerable? Ling Xiao's eyes trembled. He retracted his aura even more and slowly walked into the valley. The demonic beasts and fierce beasts in the time cave might be due to the incomplete laws of heaven and earth. Even if they were half-step demon venerables or demon venerables, they did not have much spiritual intelligence. They only had ignorant instincts. Ling Xiao was very different. These fierce beasts did not have spiritual intelligence and did not condense primordial spirits. But they had such terrifying combat strength just by relying on their physical bodies and bloodlines. They were comparable to half-step demon venerables, or even demon venerables. So Ling Xiao was very cautious and walked into the valley carefully. In the valley, ancient trees towered into the sky and old vines entwined around them. A huge fierce beast was lying there, snoring loudly from its mouth and nose. It was a green python that was hundreds of feet long. There was a golden crown on its head. The scales all over its body exuded a terrifying and powerful fluctuation. Its flat tongue was raised high, looking very ferocious. Its eyes were closed, and there seemed to be green lightning around its body. It was as if it had been contaminated by the green python's aura for a long time. The surrounding vegetation emitted a trace of lightning. It's the ancient fierce beast, the green-scaled heaven-devouring python? Ling Xiao was shocked. This green python was almost exactly the same as the legendary green-scaled heaven-devouring python. Its monstrous aura made Ling Xiao's heart tremble. The green-scaled heaven-devouring python was an ancient fierce beast. It was rumored that it was a super existence that could fight with a real dragon. When it grew up, it could swallow millions of miles of mountains and rivers, and even the heavens and earth. It was extremely terrifying. The realm of the demon venerable was definitely the realm of the demon venerable. With Ling Xiao's current cultivation, he might not be able to deal with this azure-scaled heaven-devouring python. It's actually guarded by a green-scaled heaven-devouring python. No wonder no one has been able to obtain the longevity grass after so many years. Ling Xiao's eyes flickered. Even the Tomb King city wouldn't be able to do anything to the azure Qilin heaven-devouring python. Ling Xiao wasn't afraid of the green-scaled heaven-devouring python. Even if it was a battle with He Qi, if he couldn't win, he would be able to retreat. The most important thing was that the battle with the green-scaled heaven-devouring python would cause a huge commotion. If it attracted the people from Star Palace, and they took advantage of the situation, it would be a great loss. Ling Xiao carefully observed the valley again. This valley was very wide and quiet. Ling Xiao could feel a strong qi of the dragon veins. This should be the place where the dragon veins gathered. It was a natural treasure land. Otherwise, the green-scaled heaven-swallowing python would not guard this place. Ling Xiao was almost certain that the longevity grass was in the valley, but how to get it was a problem. Let's go in and check it out first. Ling Xiao's eyes shone, and he entered the God Stone in an instant. The God Stone became a stone the size of a grain of rice, and floated into the valley silently. The God Stone was very magical. As the small world in the God Stone was gradually perfected, Ling Xiao could control the God Stone more easily. Even a Zhizun wouldn't be able to notice the God Stone if he didn't pay attention, let alone a green-scaled heaven-devouring python that didn't have any intelligence. The God Stone floated into the valley slowly, and started to check the surroundings. Ling Xiao deliberately avoided the green-scaled heaven-devouring python. The surrounding valley was very quiet. Ancient trees towered into the sky and there were strange flowers and herbs everywhere. Moreover, there was a strong qi of the dragon veins spreading. However, after looking around, Ling Xiao still couldn't find the whereabouts of the longevity grass. This is strange. Could it be that the longevity grass has been eaten by the green-scaled heaven-devouring python? Ling Xiao felt a little puzzled. He controlled the God Stone and floated towards the green-scaled heaven-devouring python. The green-scaled heaven-devouring python's roar shook the sky. Its body was surrounded by green lightning. It looked very powerful. Every breath it took seemed to set off a hurricane. It rumbled like thunder and shook the entire valley. Ling Xiao circled around, but he still couldn't find the whereabouts of the longevity grass. Little Green, a bad guy is coming. It's that stone. Bite him to pieces. Suddenly, a voice sounded in the valley. It sounded a little old and experienced. Who's talking? Ling Xiao was also shocked. He couldn't see anyone at all. In the end, he found that the voice came from the green-scaled heaven-devouring python's abdomen. Boom. The green-scaled heaven-devouring python's eyes instantly opened. They were bloodthirsty and cold. A terrifying aura intertwined and instantly locked onto the God Stone. Whoosh! A stream of light shot out of the green-scaled heaven-devouring python's mouth and instantly turned into a green grass. It had 9 leaves and its entire body was sparkling and translucent. There were mysterious patterns on the leaves, and a faint layer of mist pervaded the air. It was extremely mysterious, as if it was describing some kind of truth of the great Tao. The most important thing was that there was a human face on the grass. It looked like an old man with a face full of wrinkles. His eyeballs were rolling around. It was very wretched. His leaf pointed at the God Stone and said in an old and experienced tone, "Bastard, you're here to catch your grandfather, right? Fortunately, your grandfather is smart. Little Green, bite him to pieces." I was wondering where the longevity grass went. It's actually in the green-scaled heaven-devouring python's stomach. Ling Xiao was a little speechless. At the same time, he felt that something was wrong. This longevity grass looked very strange. It actually had intelligence that was not inferior to a human's. Moreover, it instantly found the trace of the god stone. Roar. The green-scaled heaven-devouring python's mouth let out a thunderous roar. The entire valley instantly set off a hurricane. It opened its mouth, and an incomparably violent devouring power enveloped the god stone. Whoosh. Fortunately, Ling Xiao's reaction was faster. As soon as the longevity grass finished speaking, the god stone turned into a stream of light and instantly rushed out of the valley. Little Green quickly chased after it. That stone is strange. You must catch the guy inside it. The longevity grass sat on the green-scaled heaven-devouring python's golden crown and pointed at the god stone. Suddenly, the green-scaled heaven-devouring python rushed out at an extremely fast speed. Rumble. The green lightning was dazzling. The surrounding towering ancient trees were all turned into dust. The earth rumbled. The green-scaled heaven-devouring python seemed to have locked onto the god stone. No matter where Ling Xiao flew, the green-scaled heaven-devouring python would follow. Damn it! How can that longevity grass have such a strong spiritual sense? Ling Xiao felt that it was somewhat inconceivable. Even a supreme being would find it difficult to sense the whereabouts of the god stone. In the end, the longevity grass found it. Chapter 778. Rumble. Ling Xiao rode on the god stone and traveled through the mountains. His speed was extremely fast, and he was like an undetectable streamer. With such speed, an ordinary beast would have been left behind. However, the green-scaled heaven-devouring python was biting on the back of the god stone. It was extremely violent, and its roar was earth-shattering. Everything in front of it, regardless of whether it was a mountain or a towering ancient tree, was smashed into powder. Bastard, run. I want to see where you can run to. You actually want to catch your grandfather. Today, your grandfather must see who you are. You must have eaten a bear's heart and leopard's guts. The longevity grass shouted arrogantly. Its wrinkled face was filled with a smug smile, and it was asking for a beating. Under the command of the longevity grass, the god stone seemed to have nowhere to hide. No matter where it ran to or what shape it took, the longevity grass could detect it immediately. The person in the stone, listen up. Come out now. If you come out now and kneel before me and beg for mercy, I might spare your life. Boy, don't think that this broken stone can save your life. Xiao Qing has even torn apart a divine beast. Come out and accept your death. The person in the stone, don't refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. If you anger me, I will kill your entire family. Ling Xiao rode on the god stone and flew in front while the green-scaled heaven-devouring python chased behind. However, the longevity grass was very strange. It kept threatening Ling Xiao, and it made Ling Xiao gnash his teeth in anger. Bastard! Wait until I catch you. Let's see if you still dare to be so arrogant. Ling Xiao held back a bellyful of anger. This strange longevity grass could make one fly into a rage with just a few words. It was simply infuriating to death without paying for it. Moreover, Ling Xiao also realized that the green-scaled heaven-devouring python was extremely strong. It was even comparable to an expert of the 9th-level Supreme Realm. Its power was extremely terrifying, and it was not something that he could contend with at the moment. Moreover, the commotion might have already alerted the people from the Star Palace. If so, let's make a bigger commotion. When the people from the Star Palace come, I might be able to find a chance. Ling Xiao's eyes shone brightly. He rode on the god stone and started to rampage in the mountains. Boom. The heavenly deity stone shone brightly and directly collided with a 10,000 zhang tall mountain. The earth trembled, and the mountain collapsed with a loud bang. Rocks flew everywhere, and the earth cracked open as if it was the end of the world. Whoosh! Ling Xiao rode on the Empyrean stone and rushed underground, then rushed out from an active volcano. Immediately, the volcano exploded. Endless lava spewed out, and raging flames burned fiercely. The surrounding towering ancient trees were all engulfed by the sea of fire. Bastard in the stone, you're dead. Grandpa is telling you, Grandpa will not let you go. You're pissing me off. You're the one inside the stone. Grandpa will definitely skin you alive and tear your tendons out. You'll never be able to reincarnate. Bastard, you're dead. The longevity grass behind him roared angrily. Although the azure Chilan heaven-swallowing python's speed was very fast, it was only about the same as the celestial divine stone's speed. There was no way it could catch up to Ling Xiao in a short period of time. Ling Xiao turned a deaf ear to him and continued flying forward. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. Suddenly, he felt that there was a huge mountain in front of him that was shrouded in clouds and mist, exuding an aura that made his heart palpitate. There was a ferocious beast there. Although its aura was obscure, it was extremely terrifying. It was actually not any weaker than the heaven-swallowing cyan python. Ling Xiao's eyes moved, and he suddenly revealed a cold smile. The god stone instantly rushed toward the huge mountain, and like a bright sun, it directly exploded on the mountain. Rumble. The huge mountain directly exploded with a loud bang. Rocks flew everywhere, and the light was dazzling. Huge rocks weighing tens of thousands of jin were swept high into the sky. The god stone took advantage of this opportunity to instantly restrain its aura, and flew away with the broken rocks. Roar. An earth-shattering roar was heard. Dazzling golden light burst out in an instant, and a 100 tall golden ape rushed out from the mountain. Its entire body was surging with qi and blood, as if it was going to shatter the void. Its eyes were filled with flames of anger. There was a huge black cudgel in its hand. It was like a mountain pillar, wrapped in a monstrous evil aura, and it smashed toward the heaven-swallowing cyan python. Just now, when the god stone crashed into the territory of the golden ape, its aura disappeared in an instant. With the spiritual intelligence of the golden ape, there was naturally no way for it to discern that Ling Xiao was using the tiger to devour the wolf. It directly vented its anger on the heaven-swallowing cyan python. Bastard, how did we come to this guy's territory? That bastard in the stone. I'm telling you, you're dead meat. Little cyan, let's go. The longevity grass was furious. Obviously, it knew that the golden ape had left, and hurriedly commanded the heaven-swallowing cyan python to leave. However, the golden ape had already targeted the heaven-swallowing cyan python. How could it let it leave just like that? Rumble. The huge cudgel smashed toward the heaven-swallowing cyan python, and the terrifying fluctuation caused the void to tremble violently. The heaven-swallowing cyan python seemed to have been provoked. It also roared angrily, and its huge snake tail swept out, slapping toward the golden ape. Boom. The black cudgel smashed onto the snake's tail, and a bright light exploded. From the body of the heaven-swallowing cyan python, countless cyan lightning flowed along the black cudgel, and instantly enveloped the golden ape. The cyan lightning seemed to contain an extremely terrifying power, and it electrocuted the golden ape until it cried out loudly, and its golden hair stood on end. Bang! 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 The golden ape seemed to know the power of the heaven-swallowing cyan python, and it threw away the black cudgel. It pounded its chest with its fists, and like an invincible King Kong, it charged toward the heaven-swallowing cyan python. Could this golden ape be the legendary ancient ferocious beast, the King Kong divine ape? Ling Xiao was shocked. He could feel that there was an extremely violent energy flowing in the body of the golden ape. Moreover, its physical body was extremely terrifying, and its blood was monstrous. Its entire body seemed to be cast in gold, and it was not at a disadvantage when fighting the heaven-swallowing cyan python with its bare hands. However, the heaven-swallowing cyan python was not to be trifled with. Its demonic aura surged, and cyan lightning filled the air. Its huge snake body coiled around the King Kong divine ape, and each of its scales pierced into the body of the King Kong divine ape, as if devouring its life force. Rumble. The intense battle between the two ancient ferocious beasts erupted in an instant. At this moment, even if the longevity grass cried out loudly, it could not control the situation before it. The two ancient ferocious beasts were bloodthirsty, and each of them fought without fear of death. Meanwhile, Ling Xiao hid in the sky god stone, and did not leave, watching the battle between the two ancient ferocious beasts. The King Kong divine ape and the heaven-swallowing cyan python were both ancient ferocious beasts, and their strength was on par. If they were both injured in the end, perhaps Ling Xiao would be able to reap the benefits. However, What Ling Xiao did not know was that the battle between the King Kong divine ape and the heaven-swallowing Siam python had attracted the attention of others. A group of uninvited guests were rushing in this direction. Chapter 779. It's definitely a fight between supreme beasts. Let's go and take a look. Is there any treasure? The longevity grass might be there. Let's speed up. A group of young disciples in starry robes and black armors were excited. They could feel the earth-shattering fight in the distance, and they rushed over. The leaders were Ziwei Xingzi and Sky-Scorching Monster Emperor. Ziwei, are you sure the longevity grass is in this mountain? Sky-Scorching Monster Emperor's eyes shone brightly as he asked. It shouldn't be wrong. The seniors of Star Palace once saw the longevity grass here 1,000 years ago. However, it was a pity that the longevity grass had already become an unparalleled divine medicine. It possessed extreme speed, and there was no way to catch it. However, the seniors of my sect remembered the place where the longevity grass grew. The place where the dragon vein nurtured the spirit was in this area. Ziwei Xingzi said with a smile. Great. If we can get the longevity grass, the two of us might be able to go through the supreme tribulation first and become supreme beasts. We might even be able to come out on top in the Chosen One meeting. Also, I want to kill that bastard Ling Xiao. Sky-Scorching Monster Emperor said with a cold glint in his eyes. Your Highness, don't worry. Ling Xiao will definitely die this time. Not only us, but he has also offended the successor of the Combat God Hall. The Combat God Hall will not let him go, Ziwei Xingzi said. Great. Ha. Let's go and take a look. If the two supreme beasts are injured, we might be able to take advantage of them. Sky-Scorching Monster Emperor licked his lips and said slowly. His aura was getting stronger and his blood was boiling. During his time in the Time Cave, he had killed countless powerful Archean xenogeneics and devoured their blood essences. This made his Kylan bloodline even more powerful and terrifying. If he could devour the two supreme beasts, he might be able to break through to the supreme realm without the longevity grass. In another mountain range, Zhao Ritian was wearing a golden robe and riding on the void golden eyes beast, his body exuding a majestic aura. Even his mount, the void golden eyes beast, had the strength of a half-step to demon master. Apparently, it had obtained a great opportunity. Second uncle, are you sure there is the longevity grass there? What does the longevity grass have to do with the battle between the two supreme beasts? Zhao Ritian asked doubtfully. It shouldn't be wrong. Although that longevity grass is very slippery and has been hiding in the Time Cave for hundreds of thousands of years, it still likes to attach itself to powerful vicious beasts. I suspect that the longevity grass is most likely there. Ritian, as long as you get the longevity grass, it's a supreme divine herb. It'll definitely help you pass the supreme tribulation. At that time it'll be a piece of cake for you to crush Ling Xiao. Second uncle chuckled. Good. The longevity grass belongs to me, Zhao Ritian. I will kill whoever dares to snatch it from me, Zhao Ritian said proudly. At the mention of crushing Ling Xiao, it was as if he had been injected with chicken blood, his eyes shining brightly. Whoosh! The void golden-eyed beast exuded golden light. It stepped on clouds and its eyes were like golden lamps. Its aura was extraordinary. It was like a golden bolt of lightning that shot into the distance. Apart from Ziwei Xingzi, the sky-burning demon emperor, and Zhao Ritian, many other geniuses nearby were also alerted by the battle between the King Kong ape and the green-scaled heaven-devouring python. They quickly made their way over. Rumble. The battle between the King Kong ape and the green-scaled heaven-devouring python was too horrifying. The mountains within 100 miles were flattened. Mountains flew in all directions, the earth cracked, and the towering ancient trees were reduced to dust. The earth caved in a few hundred feet, and the river flowed backward, forming a huge lake. The King Kong ape and the green-scaled heaven-devouring python had already exchanged more than 100 blows. Every blow was dangerous, and their bodies were riddled with wounds. Their combat strength began to decline rapidly. The green scales on the green-scaled heaven-devouring python were shattered, and a section of its tail was broken. There were bloodstains in its eyes, which were caused by the King Kong ape's punch on its head. The King Kong ape's strength was unparalleled. That punch had almost smashed its head into pieces. The King Kong ape was not faring well either. Its body was covered with wounds, and there was even a bloody scar on its face, which added to its ferocious aura. Roar. A terrifying roar shook the heavens and the earth. The ferocious beasts in the distance trembled in fear, and fled in all directions. Rumble. The King Kong ape thumped its chest and punched the green-scaled heaven-devouring python's body. Instantly, dozens of scales were reduced to dust. The green-scaled heaven-devouring python roared, but the ferocious aura in its eyes grew stronger. It instantly turned into a green stream of light, and wrapped around the King Kong ape's body. The green scales sank deep into the King Kong ape's body, exuding a powerful devouring power. It began to devour the King Kong ape's blood essence. Bang! 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 The King Kong ape was in pain. It bared its sharp teeth and bit the green-scaled heaven-devouring python's body. At the same time, it smashed its fists at the green-scaled heaven-devouring python. Every punch would send flesh and blood flying. It was like the beating of a heavenly drum, producing a dull sound. Little Green, stop fighting. Run. Longevity Grass was so anxious that he was about to jump up. The King Kong ape and the green-scaled heaven-devouring python were evenly matched in strength. This battle was too fierce. If this continued, the green-scaled heaven-devouring python would most likely devour all of the King Kong ape's blood essence, and the green-scaled heaven-devouring python would be killed by the King Kong ape. This is my chance. Ling Xiao's eyes shone brightly. He took advantage of the battle between the King Kong ape and the green-scaled heaven-devouring python. The god's stone wriggled slowly, and he was already 1,000 feet away from the longevity grass. To Ling Xiao, the distance of 1,000 feet was just a matter of seconds. Whoosh! He instantly rushed out of the god's stone and used a secret teleportation technique. It was as if he had teleported. He appeared beside the longevity grass and reached out his hand. Bastard, are you trying to take advantage of the situation? I've already seen this coming. The longevity grass flew into a rage. Its eyes glinted coldly. Suddenly, its body was surrounded by a green glow. Its leaves swayed, and suddenly, a dazzling sword light appeared in the sky, slashing toward Ling Xiao. The sword radiance was dazzling. It was like the Milky Way that crossed the 9 heavens. It carried an unparalleled sword aura that was as brilliant as the heavenly way. It was as if the sword could even cut down the stars. Ling Xiao was slightly stunned. He did not expect the longevity grass to be able to launch such a terrifying attack. The sword radiance had the power to threaten a prime. It was extremely terrifying. However, it was still not enough for Ling Xiao. Whoosh! A dazzling divine light filled Ling Xiao's palm. In an instant, it soared into the sky and turned into millions of dazzling sword auras. They multiplied endlessly and enveloped the sword radiance. This was the longevity sword aura, one of the 3 great sword techniques. It could form the longevity sword aura realm. Not only did it break the sword radiance in an instant, but it also enveloped the longevity grass. Chapter 780. You displayed the longevity sword beam earlier? There was a look of shock on the longevity grass's face as he said, "You know about the longevity sword chi as well? It seems like the rumors about you being the supreme divine herb left behind by Duga Qiubai are true." Ling Xiao looked at the longevity grass in surprise. Swoosh! Swoosh! Ling Xiao formed a seal with his hands, and instantly laid down a few restriction runes on the longevity grass. Unexpectedly, the longevity grass did not resist. "Kid, let's talk about this. If you help me save Little Green, I'll teach you Duga Qiubai's supreme technique. It's definitely more powerful than the longevity sword chi that you've cultivated." Longevity Grass looked at Ling Xiao and chuckled. "Is that the technique you used just now? It doesn't look like anything special." Ling Xiao pursed his lips. However, he was surprised. The technique that Longevity Grass used just now had a vast sword intent. It was definitely a divine tier martial technique. However, Longevity Grass did not seem to be able to use too much of its power. That was why Ling Xiao could easily break it. That sword attack had indeed surpassed the longevity sword chi. Could it be that the technique that longevity grass used was Duguqiobai's true inheritance? Country bumpkin, you're ignorant. Earlier, I merely utilized a strength comparable to a monarch realm expert. Yet that sword strike of mine possessed the might to threaten and exalt. If I possessed the strength of an exalt, then I would even be able to slaughter a god. The longevity grass spoke proudly. Will you die if you don't brag? Is the azure Qilin heaven-devouring python your pet? If it is, I can save it. Ling Xiao rolled his eyes and glared at longevity grass. He felt that he was surrounded by a bunch of weirdos. That big radish was a weirdo, and this longevity grass was even weirder. None of them were normal. Longevity grass said angrily. Little Green is my partner, a good friend. She's not a pet. Kid, let me tell you, if you don't save Little Green, I'll explode myself. You won't get anything then. Ling Xiao sneered. Oh, you dare to threaten me? Do you believe that I will kill both the Vajra ape and the azure Qilin heaven-devouring python? The longevity grass immediately calmed down. It smiled bitterly and said, Kid, since you can produce sword chi, you must be a descendant of Duguqiobai. We are family, so there is no need to fight, right? Quickly go and save little Qing. If you alarm the others, then it will be troublesome. All right, Ling Xiao nodded. He did not intend to give up on the green Qilin heaven-devouring python. Now that he had the longevity grass, the green Qilin heaven-devouring python would definitely listen to him obediently. This was like having another super fighter. Whoosh! Whoosh! At this moment, several air-piercing sounds were heard. A group of figures with powerful auras were flying towards them. Ling Xiao. A cold and furious voice sounded. The sky-burning demon emperor immediately looked at Ling Xiao. The disciples of Star Palace and Sky Demon Palace rushed over. Heaven-burning demon emperor, purple star child? There was a flash of light in Ling Xiao's eyes. The commotion had alarmed them. Purple Star Child saw the longevity grass in Ling Xiao's hand and said coldly, Ling Xiao, hand over the longevity grass and I will spare your life. Otherwise, you will definitely die today. Hand over the longevity grass. The sky-burning demon emperor said coldly. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. More people rushed over. They were all experts from various martial arts sanctuaries. They were alarmed by the commotion caused by the battle between the Vajra ape and the azure Qilin heaven-devouring python. There were many people that Ling Xiao knew. Experts from the Nantian family, Emperor Tomb Mountain, Precious Treasure Pavilion and other martial arts sanctuaries. Even Zhao Ritian was there. Ling Xiao's eyes glinted. It seemed that there would be a great battle today. What? The supreme divine medicine, the longevity grass? I heard that the longevity grass is the supreme divine medicine left behind by the sword demon, Duguqiobai. It might contain Duguqiobai's inheritance. Ling Xiao, hand over the longevity grass and I will spare your life. Ling Xiao, don't make a mistake. Many experts scolded one after another. Their eyes were filled with greed as they stared at the longevity grass. Although they knew that Ling Xiao was an expert on the Green Cloud leaderboard and had great combat strength, the Ziwei Star and the Sky-Burning Demon Emperor were present. The Ziwei Star was ranked higher than Ling Xiao. In addition, there were hundreds of experts gathered here. It was impossible for Ling Xiao to be a match for so many people. So your name is Ling Xiao? I don't care what your name is. Hurry up and save Little Green. It can't hold on for much longer. The longevity grass said anxiously. In the distance, the Vajra ape and the azure Qilin heaven-devouring python were entangled with each other. Their auras had become extremely weak. It was as though they were in a deadlock. The two beasts were determined to see who would kill the other first. Some of the martial arts experts even approached the two beasts. Their eyes were filled with passion and greed. There was only one longevity grass. It might be difficult for them to fight for it. However, the two supreme beasts were full of treasures. Now that both of them were injured, it was a good opportunity for them to reap the benefits. Don't worry. With me around, the azure Qilin heaven-devouring python won't die. A sharp glint flashed across Ling Xiao's eyes as he spoke indifferently. Whoosh. Ling Xiao ignored those people. He turned into a ray of golden light and rushed towards the Vajra ape and the azure Qilin heaven-devouring python. Boom. Ling Xiao struck out with his palm. Streaks of dark light burst forth from his palm. He had used the great art of soul destruction, and instantly shot the soul-destroying needle into the Vajra ape's forehead. The Vajra ape was extremely weak. It was fighting the Azure Qilin heaven-devouring python with its ferocious instincts and willpower. If it was at its peak, Ling Xiao's great soul destruction technique and soul destruction needle would have no effect on it. It wouldn't even be able to break its body. But now, the Vajra ape had no power to resist. Boom. The Vajra ape's forehead split open. The demon soul in its consciousness was its only weakness. Now that it was exposed to Ling Xiao, it was instantly killed by the great soul destruction technique. The Vajra ape's eyes widened in disbelief. It couldn't imagine that it would be killed by a bug. Oh no, stop him. He wants to get his hands on the two supreme beasts. Everyone, let's attack him together. The sky-scorching demon emperor and Ziwei Xingzi's faces changed. They instantly leaped towards Ling Xiao, their bodies exuding a towering divine radiance. The sky-scorching demon emperor used the Qilin fist. His body was surrounded by blazing flames. There seemed to be a giant Qilin jumping out from his fist radiance. It carried a ferocious aura and pounced towards Ling Xiao. Chapter 781. Ling Xiao, let go of the two honorable beasts. Ling Xiao, you're courting death. Everyone seemed to be infuriated by Ling Xiao as they charged towards him. The longevity grass was already in Ling Xiao's hands, but he still wanted to get his hands on the two honorable beasts. Naturally, everyone was enraged. However, it was too late. After Ling Xiao killed the King Kong ape, he immediately kept the corpse of the King Kong ape and the unconscious green-scaled heaven-devouring python into the divine stone. Ling Xiao used a teleportation secret technique, leaving behind an afterimage on the spot, but his entire person appeared 1,000 feet away. Rumble. Many powerful martial artists attacked at the same time. The momentum was earth-shattering, especially the Qilin fist of the sky-scorching demon emperor, and the emperor's fist of the Ziwei star. They contained terrifying power. At Ling Xiao's original position, a mountain peak that was thousands of feet high was instantly turned into dust as the void cracked. Heaven and earth shook as divine light burst out. It was as if a small sun had exploded. The radiant light shone on heaven and earth, causing countless people's hearts to tremble. Ling Xiao, hand over the longevity grass and I'll spare your life. Zhao Ritian shouted. His eyes were filled with jealousy as he threw a punch at Ling Xiao. Zhao Ritian was so jealous that he was about to go crazy. Ling Xiao was everywhere. All the treasures that he wanted were snatched away by Ling Xiao. Zhao Ritian felt wronged. Although he was extremely fearful of Ling Xiao, at this moment, with so many powerhouses present, he was instantly emboldened and brazenly attacked Ling Xiao. Rumble. This was the sky-scorching sun fist of the Sun Palace. It was a supreme killing skill that was activated by his divine body of the sun blood. Qi shot up to the sky as the fist radiance was like a blazing sun that blasted towards Ling Xiao. Oh, Zhao Ritian, you've grown up. How dare you attack me? Ling Xiao sneered and threw a punch as well. Golden blood Qi exploded as dragon power filled the air. The punch exploded the sun. Both of them shook and retreated. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. With sky-burning demon emperor Ziwei Star Sun and Zhao Ritian as the leaders, countless experts from Sky Demon Palace, Star Palace, Nantiang Clan, Emperor Tomb Mountain, and others surrounded Ling Xiao. There were no less than 1,000 people, and every one of them had an incomparably powerful aura. Their eyes were cold as they stared fixedly at Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao, you won't be able to escape. Hand over those two supreme being beasts and the longevity grass, and we'll spare your life. Ling Xiao, although you are very strong, do you think you can fight against so many of us by yourself? Hand it over, or you will die a horrible death. Why are you talking so much nonsense with him? Let's just kill him. Whoever grabs it will get the opportunity. Over 1,000 experts surrounded Ling Xiao, as if they had roused everyone's courage. Their eyes were all filled with cold killing intent. Ling Brat, why aren't you running? Do you really want to fight 1,000 people alone? Longevity Grass said anxiously as he sat on Ling Xiao's shoulder. I really want to give it a try. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, and his entire body exuded a majestic battle intent. You're crazy, you're definitely crazy. You're definitely going to die if you're surrounded by so many people. I beg you, Ancestor Ling, if you don't run, we're all going to die. Longevity Grass was about to cry as he nagged in Ling Xiao's ear. Don't worry, I won't die. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and stuffed the Longevity Grass into the celestial stone. If you want to fight, then let's fight. You want to kill me, Ling Xiao, with just your motley crew. You are not worthy. Ling Xiao laughed coldly, and his voice reverberated between heaven and earth. You're courting death. Kill him. Everyone was infuriated by Ling Xiao. With so many people surrounding him, not only did he not run away, but he even dared to speak so arrogantly. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Suddenly, 3 old men in black robes charged towards Ling Xiao. They were all experts from Emperor Tomb Mountain, and they had already passed the 4 symbols calamity. Their auras were extremely terrifying. Kill. Ling Xiao also let out an explosive roar, exploding in an instant. The sky-swallowing sword appeared in his palm, and it shot out billions of rays of light. Ling Xiao slashed with the sword, and the heavens and earth shook. Countless white sword rays appeared in the void, and they multiplied endlessly, as though they had formed a sword realm. This was the longevity sword aura. In Ling Xiao's hand, it started to shine with a peerless radiance. Ling Xiao, don't be so arrogant. Sky-burning demon royal's fists flew across the sky, and the gloves on his fists were a powerful supreme weapon. Dazzling true sun fire gathered on the fist radiance, and he charged towards Ling Xiao. A purple longsword appeared in Ziwei Xingzi's hand. It was the crepe myrtle holy sword, and it was also a powerful supreme weapon of Star Palace. Zhao Ritian took out a golden saber that looked like it was made of gold, and there was a mysterious image of a 3-legged golden crow on it. It was the Golden Crow Holy Saber, and it was also a supreme treasure bestowed by the Sun Palace Master. With the 3 of them as the leaders, everyone suddenly went berserk, and they used their unique skills to attack Ling Xiao. Die. There was a flash of light in Ling Xiao's eyes, and the sky-swallowing sword slashed down from the sky. The longevity sword aura instantly went berserk, and the dazzling sword radiance crushed the 3 elders of Emperor Tomb Mountain into pieces. Virum. The sky-swallowing sword radiance flashed, and it devoured the primordial spirits of the 3 elders of Emperor Tomb Mountain. There seemed to be a wave of desire coming from the sky-swallowing sword. It wanted to fight, to kill, and to devour everything. Rumble. Ling Xiao leaped into the sky, and the sword slashed down from the sky. Suddenly, more than 10 martial artists' bodies exploded, and they turned into a mist of blood, which was devoured by the sky-swallowing sword. The sky-swallowing sword's radiance became even more dazzling. Rays of dazzling sword radiance burst out, and they contained an extreme amount of killing power. Although the supreme weapon from his previous life was heavily damaged, it had also started to unleash a peerless radiance. As it devoured the flesh and primordial spirits of the living, the sky-swallowing sword's power became stronger and stronger. Ah ah ah! Screams sounded one after another, and blood and flesh flew everywhere. Broken limbs were everywhere. The sky-swallowing sword slashed down, and it was like cutting vegetables. Suddenly, a large number of martial artists died tragically. Ling Xiao was like a tiger in a flock of sheep. Many martial artists were crying for their parents, and it was extremely miserable. Ling Xiao, eat my fist. The sky-scorching demon emperor's eyes were burning with killing intent, and he threw out a punch. Suddenly, the heaven and earth trembled, and a ferocious Qilin pounced towards Ling Xiao. After being defeated by Ling Xiao in the holy ground, the sky-scorching demon emperor could not forget about it. He wanted to defeat Ling Xiao and avenge his humiliation. Chapter 782. Clang. The sky-scorching demon emperor's fist landed on the sky-devouring sword, causing sparks to fly everywhere. The sky-devouring sword trembled slightly as it emitted a dazzling radiance. Sky-scorching demon emperor, you haven't made any progress after such a long time. Ling Xiao sneered as his eyes shone with sharpness. He struck out with his palm, causing golden clouds to explode. The roar of a dragon soared into the sky as a true dragon charged towards the sky-scorching demon emperor. This was the Thousand Dragons god-slaying technique. Although Ling Xiao had only formed one true dragon, it wasn't something that an ordinary person could withstand. Bang! The sky-scorching demon emperor's arm went numb. Although most of the force was absorbed by the gloves, he was still struck by the true dragon. Even his Qilin fist was broken apart. His body felt as though he was struck by lightning as he was sent flying. Swoosh! The Purple Star Child and Zhao Ritian charged towards Ling Xiao at the same time. The Purple Star Child and Golden Crow Saber contained extreme power. The sky was filled with dazzling starlight as the sun soared across the sky. It was as though Ling Xiao was pulled into the galaxy. The Purple Star Child stepped on the galaxy like a majestic emperor. The Purple Star Child slowly descended as though billions of stars were descending. Zhao Ritian was incomparably violent. The Golden Crow Saber was surrounded by the Grand Sun True Fire as it slashed towards Ling Xiao. Boom! Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as the sky-devouring sword soared into the sky. Billions of eternal sword chi spread out, and each of the sword chi accurately pierced through a star. The stars in the sky were shattered at the same time as the sky-devouring sword slashed onto the Purple Star Child. Bang! Sparks flew as the sky-devouring sword buzzed. However, Ling Xiao seemed to be rooted in the void and didn't move an inch. The Purple Star Child took a dozen steps back as the blood in his body churned. His eyes were filled with shock. He was ranked 6th on the Green Cloud leaderboard, and had once killed a supreme being. His strength was unparalleled, and he didn't take Ling Xiao seriously. However, after this exchange, he realized how terrifying Ling Xiao was. That kind of terrifying physical strength was simply like a divine beast in human form. Any kind of supernatural power or martial arts would be shattered by Ling Xiao's punch. After Ling Xiao defeated the Purple Star Child, the sky-devouring sword turned slightly in the void and blocked the Golden Crow Saber. Rumble! The moment the heaven-devouring sword clashed with the Golden Crow blade, Ling Xiao's gaze was extremely sharp as he threw a punch at Zhao Ritian. 10,000 Dragons God-slaying technique. A golden dragon soared through the sky and attacked. Behind Ling Xiao, golden clouds swirled, and there were signs of a second dragon forming. Kill, kill, kill. The sky-burning demon emperor roared the word kill 3 times in a row, shaking the heavens and earth. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. He turned his fist into a palm, and a palm print slashed toward Ling Xiao. There were actually 3 huge saber lights coming toward Ling Xiao. Triple Slaughter God Blade. Each slash was more terrifying than the previous one. The 3 slashes were filled with a monstrous baleful aura. It was incomparably terrifying. Kill. Ziwei Xingzi and Zhao Ritian's eyes flashed as they saw an opportunity. Simultaneously, they unleashed their powerful killing techniques and rushed towards Ling Xiao. Apart from the 3 of them, there were also a few half-step supremes who had passed the tribulation of the 4 symbols. They were a few old men who looked like they didn't have much time left. They wanted to take a risk and kill Ling Xiao to obtain the longevity grass. Bring it on! Ha 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 ha! There was no trace of fear in Ling Xiao's eyes. Instead, he laughed loudly, his voice shaking the clouds. Rumble! A 3-legged, 2-eared cauldron flew out of him, shining with dazzling light as it floated above his head. The King Heaven Devourer Cauldron. As soon as the King Heaven Devourer Cauldron appeared, heaven and earth rumbled, and the void trembled. Boundless golden light erupted, transforming into a dazzling vortex. I'll use you lot as a test subject. Devour heavens, extinguish earth. 7 limitations God art. Eyes flashing, Ling Xiao shot up into the air, his aura exploding as the King Heaven Devourer Cauldron devoured the quintessence energy of heaven and earth. Then he unleashed 7 fist strikes. The first fist was the 4 symbols heaven striking form, which unleashed the 4 symbols godlight. The second fist was the 5 elements heaven sealing form, which unleashed the power of the 5 elements, creating a dazzling aegis. The third fist was the 6 paths of reincarnation form, which unleashed a primal chaos mist that caused the world of 6 wheels to appear behind Ling Xiao. The fourth fist was the 7 stars heaven-shattering form, which unleashed 7 paragon stars that illuminated heaven and earth. The fifth fist was the 8 wildernesses burning heaven form, which unleashed a blaze that could destroy the world. The sixth fist was the 9 slaughters to ruin form, which unleashed 9 terrifying godlight that seemed capable of reducing all things in heaven and earth to nothing. The seventh fist was the 10 directions annihilation form, which unleashed boundless death energy that caused primal chaos to explode. The 7 stances of the 7 limits divine technique of devouring heaven and destroying earth were actually all unleashed by Ling Xiao in one breath. That was especially true of the seventh fist. Normally speaking, only paragons could unleash it. But now Ling Xiao was using it so forcefully that he felt like he was draining all of his true energy and blood. 7 streaks of terrifying fist radiance swept across the sky and exploded in an instant. Ruiyuumble. The only thing left in heaven and earth was a primal chaos mist. Godlight filled the air, and boundless killing energy filled the area. The 7 limitations God art caused countless martial artists to be crushed into powder, which was then consumed by the King Heaven Devourer Cauldron. Rumble. The heaven-scorching demon emperor's triple slaughtering god saber shattered, and he was sent flying by Ling Xiao's fist. His fleshly body cracked open, and he coughed up mouthfuls of blood. Ling Xiao took the crepe myrtle god sword and the golden crow god saber head-on. His fist strikes were invincible, and when they landed on the paragon treasures, they unleashed shocking godly might. At the same time, the boundless god power flowed through the paragon treasures and into the bodies of the Emperor Star and Zhao Ritian. Pop! Both of them coughed up mouthfuls of blood, and their faces turned as pale as death. How is this possible? The heaven-scorching demon emperor, the Emperor Star, and Zhao Ritian were completely flabbergasted. Ling Xiao's power surpassed that of a paragon. It was almost as if he had touched upon the legendary god spirit realm. It caused their souls to tremble. The other martial artists weren't as lucky. The 7 limitations god art of devouring heaven and destroying earth burst out, and 7 fist lights filled the air. Large numbers of martial artists were killed, and their bodies exploded. Their primordial spirits vanished, and they were reduced to a bloody mist. When the world returned to normal, everyone saw that the surrounding mountains had been flattened, and the land within a radius of 1,000 miles had turned into a vast ocean. And nearly half of the 1,000 powerful martial artists that originally besieged Ling Xiao were actually killed by Ling Xiao. He's not human. He's not human. That's not the power of a human. It's the power of a god spirit. It's the power of the Tao of heaven. It's terrifying. Run. Ling Xiao is a god of slaughter. He's a devil. The martial artists were scared out of their wits by Ling Xiao. Their eyes were filled with terror, and they no longer had any will to fight. Chapter 783. Ling Xiao's 7 fist imprints had shocked everyone, including the heaven-scorching demon emperor, the Emperor of the Purple Star, and Zhao Ritian. Don't be afraid. Those 7 fist imprints must have been Ling Xiao's strongest attack. He can't fight back at all. Everyone attack. Kill him. The Emperor of the Purple Star's eyes were filled with cold killing intent as he glared at Ling Xiao. He cut a sorry figure, his violet robe in tatters, his hair disheveled, and his face bloodied. His handsome features were now twisted into a vicious grimace. Who was the Emperor of the Purple Star? He was ranked 6th on the Green Cloud Steel, and had once killed a paragon. He was the #1 genius in the northern prefectures of the War God continent. Obviously, he thought highly of himself, so the fact that he had suffered such a crushing defeat at the hands of Ling Xiao was a great humiliation. However, the Emperor of the Purple Star was convinced that Ling Xiao had used some sort of forbidden technique. It couldn't have been sustained for long. That level of power was enough to fight a peak paragon. That's right. Everyone attack. Ling Xiao has no energy left to fight back. He's just bluffing. Kill him. The heaven-scorching demon emperor's eyes were filled with killing intent as he glared at Ling Xiao. You're welcome to try, Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. He hovered there in the air, his robes whiter than snow. His black hair whipped around him, and his eyes glittered with dazzling sharpness. Many people were scared out of their wits and ran away. However, there were still some bold people who stayed behind. Their eyes were filled with restlessness. And yet, none of them dared to make the first move. Treasures were good, but they needed to be alive to claim them. Ling Zhao's 7-fist imprints from the heaven-devouring, earth-extinguishing 7 limits god art had drained him dry. However, the quintessence blood and nascent divinities of the hundreds of cultivators he had killed had been absorbed by the King Heaven-Devourer cauldron. However, Ling Zhao didn't make a move. He wanted to see who would dare to make a move on him. Second Master, should I go up and kill Ling Zhao and steal his longevity grass? Zhao Ritian's eyes revealed a hint of eagerness. Are you stupid? Why aren't you running? Let me tell you, Ling Zhao's cultivation hasn't been depleted at all. If you don't run now, it'll be too late. There was a hint of anxiety in the second uncle's voice. What? No damage at all? How is this possible? Zhao Ritian's eyes were filled with disbelief, but he still chose to believe his second uncle's words. Instantly, he turned into a ray of light and ran away without even looking at Ling Zhao. The 10th Holy Son of the Sun Palace has also left. Someone exclaimed, and the hesitation in his eyes became even more intense. He began to have a bad feeling in his heart. Elder Wang, go and kill Ling Zhao. Ziwei Xingzi said coldly as he pointed at an elder from Star Palace beside him. Yes. The elder of Star Palace shivered and there was fear in his eyes. However, he still nodded and agreed. He gritted his teeth and swung his saber at Ling Zhao. Rumble. The starlight was dazzling and the saber radiance was dazzling. There was a flash in Ling Zhao's eyes and he didn't block it. Instead, he used the secret skill of shifting and dodged the attack. Rumble. At Ling Zhao's original position, a small hill was instantly flattened by the saber. Rocks flew everywhere and the aura was terrifying. I'll warn you one last time. Whoever dares to attack me will have to bear the consequences. Ling Zhao's eyes were filled with coldness as he scanned the crowd. Ha ha ha. Ling Zhao, you still dare to bluff? Die. Ziwei Xingzi sneered. He could already tell from Elder Wang's probing that Ling Zhao's footsteps were weak and his body was sluggish. With one look, he could tell that it was caused by the exhaustion of his power. He immediately let go of his worries and charged at Ling Zhao with his Ziwei Divine Sword. Rumble. He swung his sword across the sky, and the Ziwei Divine Sword shone brightly. The power of law filled the air, as though it had turned into billions of starry sword radiance. At the same time, it enveloped Ling Zhao. Ziwei Xingzi is right. Ling Zhao is bluffing. Everyone, let's attack together. If we kill Ling Zhao, the longevity grass and the honorable beast will be ours. Kill him. Many ambitious people seemed to be filled with confidence. Their eyes were cold as they unleashed powerful martial arts towards Ling Zhao. However, the sky-burning demon emperor was hesitant. Although he had also unleashed powerful killing techniques, he was the last one. He had fought with Ling Zhao before. Ling Zhao's calmness did not seem to be an act. Was this a trap? At the thought of this, the sky-burning demon emperor shuddered and became more vigilant. There are indeed people who are not afraid of death. In that case, I'll fulfill your wish. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed sharply as he sneered. Rumble. Golden light shone brightly around him and his blood chi surged. A majestic dragon's power spread out, and the dragon's roar shook the sky. He unleashed the 1,000 dragons god-slaying skill, and slammed his palm out. Behind Ling Zhao, there were 2 true dragons that soared across the sky. They erupted with terrifying power and charged at the top powers. Feeling the ferocious and terrifying aura, the top powers' faces instantly changed. Oh no, this is Ling Zhao's trap. Run! The top powers' eyes were filled with terror, and their hearts were filled with regret and fear. Why didn't they run away earlier? Why were they blinded by their greed? Rumble! However, it was too late. The elder from Star Palace was the first to bear the brunt of the attack. The huge dragon claw slammed down and instantly crushed his body into pieces. He exploded in the void. The 2 true dragons wreaked havoc among the crowd, and each of them possessed power that was close to the honorable realm. There were screams and a large number of top powers were covered in blood, and exploded into a bloody mist. As for Ziwei Xingzi, Ling Zhao took special care of him. The true dragon soared across the sky, and the huge dragon claw that was wrapped in monstrous divine power slammed down on him. Clang! The dragon claw hit the crepe myrtle divine sword, and the resplendent runes exploded. Ziwei Xingzi quivered and felt his arm go numb. It was as though he had lost consciousness. In the next moment, the other dragon claw passed through the layers of sword gleams and smashed into his chest. Kai! His ribs were broken and Ziwei Xingzi's chest caved in. He spat out a mouthful of blood and his aura instantly weakened. Impossible. It's impossible. You unleashed such a terrifying blow. How could you not be injured at all? Ziwei Xingzi's eyes were filled with disbelief and a tinge of fear. Chapter 784. Nothing is impossible. I've given you everything. Since you don't cherish it, you can go to hell. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed coldly as he threw a punch at Ziwei Xingzi. Don't you dare hurt Ziwei Xingzi. Ling Xiao, Ziwei Xingzi is the son of Star Emperor. If you dare to kill him, Star Emperor will not let you off. A few elders from Star Palace pounced forward fearlessly and roared at Ling Xiao. Star Emperor's son? He's still going to die. Ling Zhao's eyes were cold as his fist print contained a terrifying power. The elders of Star Palace who stood in front of him were like paper, as they were torn to shreds by the fist radiance. Seeing Ling Xiao approaching, Ziwei Xingzi's eyes were filled with fear as he felt the burning killing intent from Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao, if you dare to kill me, my father will not let you off. Let me go and I promise not to be your enemy anymore. Ziwei Xingzi shouted fiercely. Too late. The conflict between Star Palace and I has long been irreconcilable. Ling Xiao laughed coldly as his eyes flashed with sharpness. He threw a punch at Ziwei Xingzi, breaking the Ziwei Xingzi's sword and slamming into Ziwei Xingzi's body. Boom. Ziwei Xingzi's body exploded into a bloody mist. Only a purple primordial spirit was left. It looked like a smaller version of Ziwei Xingzi. It looked at Ling Xiao with hatred, and then attached itself to the Ziwei Xingzi's sword in an attempt to escape. Wang. The King Heaven Devourer cauldron came crashing down. A powerful devouring force broke through the void and locked down Ziwei Xingzi's primordial spirit. Who dares to kill my son? A majestic and terrifying voice rang out. A young man in white appeared from Ziwei Xingzi's primordial spirit, exuding a majestic aura. Star Emperor? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. This young man in white was Star Emperor. Father, save me. He's Ling Xiao. You have to kill him. Ziwei Xingzi's face was filled with agitation as he shouted. Ling Xiao, you deserve to die. Killing intent flashed in Star Emperor's eyes. He instantly turned into a blazing streamer and pressed down on Ling Zhao's glabella. Even if your true body is here, what can you do to me? Not to mention a mere primordial spirit brand. Ling Xiao sneered and grabbed at the void. A powerful aura burst out and instantly crushed Star Emperor's primordial spirit. Ling Xiao, I'll remember you. If you dare to kill my son, I'll hunt you down to the ends of the earth. I'll tear you to shreds. The moment Star Emperor's primordial spirit mark disappeared, it left behind a furious voice. What a pointless threat. Ling Xiao chuckled coldly, causing the King Heaven Devourer cauldron to flash with bright light and suppress the nascent divinity of the Polestar Starchild. Wang. The crepe myrtle divine sword emitted a strange wave, wanting to break through the void and escape. Boom. Ling Xiao suddenly punched out, and his fist landed on the crepe myrtle divine sword. The crepe myrtle divine sword was dazzling, and the runes were dazzling. The crepe myrtle divine sword was instantly caught by Ling Xiao. What crepe myrtle divine sword? That's the ancient Alioth sword I forged. Do you really think you can cause trouble here? Ling Zhao's eyes were as cold as ice. He had long since realized that the crepe myrtle divine sword was the ancient Alioth sword he had forged years ago. Originally, it had belonged to his fifth apprentice, Yin-Yang Tian. However, for some reason, it had ended up in the hands of the Polestar Starchild, who had then refined it into the crepe myrtle divine sword. Whiz! The crepe myrtle divine sword trembled, as if it were afraid, and at the same time, as if it were reluctant to part with it. Without any hesitation, Ling Xiao sucked it into his heaven god stone and suppressed it. Of the more than 100 experts who had attacked Ling Xiao, only a few were caught in the crossfire and were able to escape. Everyone else was killed by Ling Xiao's myriad dragons' god-slaughtering skill. The sky-burning demon emperor, who was at the back of the group, shivered when he saw the purple star had died in Ling Xiao's hands. He wanted to escape without thinking. Heaven scorching, it's time for you to fulfill your promise and become my mount. Ling Xiao's calm voice resounded in the ears of the heaven-scorching demon emperor. The heaven-scorching demon emperor trembled in fear and ran even faster. Trying to run away in front of me? Ling Xiao's eyes flickered as he threw a punch at the heaven-scorching demon emperor. The terrifying fist print caused the void to tremble, and the heaven-scorching demon emperor felt his scalp go numb. Roar! He roared and threw out a punch as well. Crack! When the two fists collided, the space instantly shattered. On the other hand, the heaven-scorching demon emperor was blasted hundreds of meters away by Ling Xiao's punch. His arm was numb and his internal organs were churning. Ling Xiao, don't push me too far. The heaven-scorching demon emperor was enraged, and his eyes were filled with a ghastly expression. Push me too far? Heaven-scorching demon emperor, why don't you say you're pushing me too far by attacking me together? If you want to blame someone, blame yourself for being too weak. Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. Boom. He threw out another punch, and his terrifying physical strength exploded. Every punch seemed to be able to shatter the void, and was accompanied by a powerful dragon's might. Even though the heaven-scorching demon emperor was a pure-blooded divine beast, the fire Qilin, he could not withstand Ling Xiao's terrifying attack. Ling Xiao, I'll fight you to the death. The sky-scorching demon emperor roared. In an instant, his body shone with a dazzling light. Flames rose up, and he turned into a fire Qilin. His body emitted an extremely ferocious aura as his blood-red eyes stared at Ling Xiao. Swoosh! The heaven-scorching demon emperor spat out a dazzling pearl at Ling Xiao. It was emitting scorching solar primordial fire. Solar heavenly pearl? Since you're so eager to give it to me, I'll take it. Ling Xiao said calmly and grabbed the solar heavenly pearl. He had devoured the divine dragon bloodline and survived the earth calamity. His physical strength had reached an unbelievable level, and he could fight against a supreme weapon with his bare hands. Whiz! The great solar heavenly pearl spewed out blazing flames, wanting to incinerate Ling Xiao into ashes. However, Ling Xiao's palm was also filled with heaven-devouring fire. Instantly, it clashed with the great solar heavenly pearl, causing blazing flames to erupt. Whoosh! The heaven-devourer cauldron descended from the void toward the solar heavenly pearl. Ling Xiao's figure flashed and instantly turned into a dazzling stream of light. He rode on the fire Qilin's body and punched towards the fire Qilin's head. Boom! Terrifying light exploded out, shattering the scales on the fire Qilin's head, and causing it to nearly fall over. Do you submit or not? Ling Xiao said with a cold smile. Then he punched out again. I don't submit. I don't submit. Ling Xiao, kill me if you can. You want me to be your mount? Don't even think about it. The fire Qilin spoke in human language and roared loudly. Its eyes were filled with incomparable madness. Chapter 785. Not convinced? Then I'll beat you until you're convinced. Ling Xiao sneered. His unparalleled fist print exploded with a terrifying radiance and smashed down on the fire Qilin. Rumble! The fire Qilin struggled violently, and the sea of fire around it burned the lake dry. The surrounding mountains and ancient trees began to burn fiercely. It shot up into the sky and crashed into the ground, causing the sky to tremble and the ground to crack. The entire area seemed to have turned into a sea of lava. However, Ling Xiao was still riding on the fire Qilin steadily. Ling Xiao threw over 100 punches and the fire Qilin's head was about to be smashed. Countless scales exploded and blood splattered everywhere. In the end, the fire Qilin could not take it anymore, and began to beg for mercy. All right, I'm convinced. Ling Xiao, stop hitting me. If you continue, I'll be killed by you. In the end, under the threat of death, the sky-burning demon king chose to give in. He felt that if he did not give in, Ling Xiao might really kill him. The Ziwei star was a good example. All right, now let go of your primordial spirit, Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. The sky-burning demon king had no choice but to let go of his primordial spirit, and let Ling Xiao set up dozens of powerful seals in his primordial spirit. The terrifying aura emitted from those seals made the sky-burning demon emperor tremble in fear. He could not understand those complicated seals at all. He had a premonition that if he dared to betray Ling Xiao could kill him with a single thought. Buzz. The sky-burning demon king's body flashed, and his body began to shrink. He turned into a fire qilin that was 1 zhang tall and 3 zhang long. His body was covered in blazing flames and he looked mighty and majestic. Ling Xiao was also excited. According to the legends, qilins were the mounts of the ancient heavenly emperor. During the ancient era, qilins could devour the heavens and the earth, burn rivers and boil seas. They were omnipotent. Now, Ling Xiao had finally captured a qilin divine beast. The sky-burning demon king pulled a long face and felt that his future was dark. He was the young master of the Sky Demon Palace and a pure-blooded divine beast, Fire Qilin. Even a titled honorable was not qualified to be his mount. However, Ling Xiao had captured him and made him his mount. If the news spread, the sky-burning demon king's reputation would be completely ruined. However, under the threat of death, he could only choose to submit. Now that his life was in Ling Xiao's hands, he didn't dare to resist at all. This time, over 1,000 experts besieged Ling Xiao. In the end, only a small portion of them managed to escape. The majority of them died at Ling Xiao's hands. Although the storage treasures of many experts were destroyed by Ling Xiao, there were still many treasures left behind. Ling Xiao ordered the sky-burning demon emperor to gather the storage treasures and weapons of those experts. It was a great fortune. Just the pure yang pills alone numbered over 300 million. The Ziwei Star Child alone contributed 60 million pure yang pills, while the others contributed from several 100,000 to over 1 million pure yang pills. Added together, it was a terrifying number. There were thousands of other powerful Dao artifacts and hundreds of bottles of spirit pills. In the time cave, these experts had collected a total of 47 sage medicines, 182 king medicines, and thousands of other spirit medicines. In the Ziwei Star Child's ring of holding, Ling Xiao even found a quasi-god medicine, pure yang gold lotus. Killing and arson really was a golden belt. This battle alone had made Ling Xiao rich. Of course, although there were a lot of treasures, Ling Xiao didn't really care about them. What he cared about the most were the martial arts of the Astral Palace in the Ziwei Star Child Sea of Consciousness, especially the Myriad Star Flying God art. The Myriad Star Flying God art was a supreme technique of the Astral Palace. According to Ling Xiao's speculations, it was a god-class consummate art, although it seemed incomplete. Ling Xiao had seen it in the hands of the other great stars before. This Myriad Star Flying God technique was indeed extremely extraordinary. As the Heaven Devourer cauldron devoured and suppressed the Ziwei Star Child's Sea of Consciousness, all of the information was extracted. The Myriad Star Flying God art also fell into Ling Xiao's hands. Ling Xiao also read about the Alioth sword. Apparently, the Astral Emperor had taken it from the Myriad Coffin's mountains, refined it, and given it to the Ziwei Star Child. The Myriad Coffin's mountains? Don't tell me the fifth brother, Yin Tian, and the others are there as well? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a sharp light. Supreme Azura was at the Myriad Coffin's mountains, and now Yin Tian was there as well. It seemed that he had to make a trip there after leaving the time cave. Ling Xiao thought to himself. Outside the time cave, the Astral Emperor was sitting cross-legged in the void. His eyes suddenly opened, revealing a monstrous killing intent. Ling Xiao, you killed my son. I will tear you to pieces. Furthermore, your parents and relatives in the Crystal Palace will all die. The Astral Emperor's face was twisted, and his body was trembling. The Astral Palace had 5 astral children. The other 4 astral children were one thing, but the Ziwei Star Child was his son, and the one he valued the most. His talent was unparalleled, and he had entered the Green Cloud ranking at a young age. He had thought that the Ziwei Star Child would become a paragon after the Heavenly Selection Convention. Who would have thought that he would die at the hands of Ling Xiao? Men, invite old ancestor South Sky, Demon Sovereign Great Sun, and the Lord of Emperor Tomb Mountain for a chat. The Astral Emperor's eyes were dark as he ordered coldly. Yes. Immediately, a disciple of the Astral Palace left in a hurry. Ling Xiao, this time, I will make sure you die without a burial place. The Astral Emperor's voice was cold, and his eyes seemed to have the scene of stars disappearing, causing the surrounding chaotic mist to explode instantly. Due to the death of the Ziwei star child, the outside world suddenly became turbulent. Ling Xiao, who was in the time cave, did not know about this. However, even if he knew, he would not care. Ling Xiao rode on the fire qilin. Just as he was about to leave and return to the Moon City, he suddenly felt an extremely familiar aura approaching rapidly. Mu Xian. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he saw a slender young man in a black robe. His black hair was draped over his shoulders, and his eyes were like lightning. His entire body was emitting a mysterious aura of a grave. This young man was the most outstanding genius of the Tomb King city, Mu Xian. Moreover, Ling Xiao saw that Mu Xian's cultivation was stronger than when he was outside the time cave. He had already passed the tribulation of 4 symbols. However, to the people of the Tomb King city, the half-step to Paragon realm was the end of the tribulation of 4 symbols. Unless they could break through the shackles and curses in their bloodline, they could only continue to break through. Ling Xiao, it's really you. Mu Xian's eyes flashed as he said slowly, "Why are you here?" Chapter 786. I heard you fought Tu Qianxiong and killed the Purple Star Child. You even subdued the sky-burning Demon King as your mount. I didn't expect it to be you. I came here because the situation has changed. The 9th chapter of Destiny has appeared, and the successor of the War God Temple has noticed it. Mu Xian looked at Ling Xiao with some surprise, then his expression became incomparably solemn. The successor of the War God Temple has found the 9th chapter? Where is it? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He didn't expect the successor of the War God Temple to be so interested in the 9th chapter. The 9th chapter is in the demon city of the demon tribe. Mu Xian glanced at Ling Xiao and said slowly, "Demon tribe." Ling Xiao was a bit surprised as well. He didn't expect the 9th chapter to be in the demon tribe. According to his understanding, the demon tribe might have been corrupted by the extraterrestrial demons, which was why they were fighting against the other 3 tribes. The Moon Tribe, Spirit Tribe, and Buddha Tribe could barely contend against the Demon Tribe. This showed how powerful the Demon Tribe was. That's right, it's the Demon Tribe. This is the result of my investigation. It's a pity that the successor of the War God Temple has already received the news, and is rushing towards the Demon Tribe. Mu Xian said. Ling Xiao said. The Demon Tribe is very powerful with a titled Supreme overseeing it. Do you think we can get the 9th chapter with just the 2 of us? Even the successor of the War God Temple doesn't have this ability. Mu Xian said anxiously. I know the Demon Tribe is very strong, stronger than the other 3 tribes combined. But we still have to try. If the 9th chapter falls into the hands of the successor of the War God Temple, then we'll be in trouble. We need to think about this at length. Mu Xian, you and I will return to the Moon City first. If we go to the Demon Tribe, it's best if we have the help of the other 3 tribes. Ling Xiao said. Mu Xian hesitated. Moon Tribe? The other 4 tribes are very xenophobic. If we go to the Moon Tribe, they won't help us, right? Don't worry, I'm from the Moon Tribe. They should be able to help us. Ling Xiao said with a smile. What? You actually have a relationship with the Moon Tribe? Mu Xian looked at Ling Xiao in disbelief. In the past, it wasn't as if no one had tried to make friends with the ancient races in order to obtain their help, but it simply didn't work. Mu Xian had not expected Ling Xiao to be able to do it. Come with me. Ling Xiao smiled and did not explain anything. All right. Mu Xian hesitated for a moment before nodding in agreement. Ling Xiao rode on the fire qilin and soared into the sky, turning into a stream of light as he sped towards the city of the moon. Ling Xiao's primordial spirit entered the celestial stone, and the scene inside stunned him. The King Kong godly ape was already deader than dead. All of its blood essence had been devoured by the green-scaled heaven-devouring python. However, the dazzling golden Yao core had already been taken out by Ling Xiao. The azure qilin heaven-devouring python was currently recuperating within a mountain. It was in a deep slumber, as though it was undergoing some sort of metamorphosis. And longevity grass was actually teaching Lu Jiani martial arts. Lu Jiani had the yin-yang saint body and opened all his meridians. With the large amount of resources left behind by Ling Xiao, He had already cultivated to the spirit transformation realm in such a short time. And longevity grass was teaching Lu Jiani how to cultivate the longevity sword chi. Ling Xiao brat, I didn't expect you to have such a talented disciple. The legendary Yin-Yang Saint body, you're really lucky. Why don't we discuss it, and you give this disciple to this old man? This old man will definitely nurture a peerless sword god. Longevity grass had also noticed Ling Xiao and said proudly, Sorry longevity grass, this is my fourth disciple Lu Jiani. Don't even think about it. Ling Xiao smiled. Jiani greets master. Lu Jiani's eyes were filled with surprise when he saw Ling Xiao. He bowed respectfully. Not bad, not bad. Jiani, your progress is really fast. Ling Xiao smiled, very satisfied with Lu Jiani's cultivation progress. You're so stingy. Such a talented disciple is really a pearl covered in dust. Longevity grass curled his lips. Hey, I almost forgot. More than 1,000 people outside are besieging you, but you're still alive and kicking? It seems that you're running very fast. Longevity grass seemed to have thought of something and looked at Ling Xiao from the corner of his eyes. Running? Why should I run? I've already killed more than 1,000 people outside. I even caught a pure-blooded divine beast Fire Qilin as my mount. Ling Xiao said lightly. You're just bragging. You caught a pure-blooded divine beast Fire Qilin? I can even say that my mount is a real dragon. Longevity grass sneered. Ling Xiao was not angry. He said, If you don't believe me, look. Suddenly, a light flashed in his hand, and the scene of the battle appeared in front of Longevity grass and Lu Jiani. Longevity grass and Lu Jiani were stunned by the scene of Ling Xiao executing the 7 limits divine art of swallowing heaven and destroying earth, killing hundreds of martial arts experts, killing the Ziwei star child, and subduing the sky-burning demon emperor. Master, you're so powerful. I want to be as powerful as you in the future. Lu Jiani looked at Ling Xiao with eyes full of admiration. The longevity grass had a strange look in his eyes, especially when he saw Ling Xiao using the 7 limits divine technique of engulfing the heavens and destroying the earth. His eyes flashed with sharpness. Longevity grass curled his lips when he heard Lu Jiani's words. He said, That's considered powerful? I've only killed some ants. You should know that I've even killed deities in the past. I'm invincible in all the realms. I'm the #1 person in the world. You're talking about Senior Dugachiobai, right? What does that have to do with you? You're just a grass. Why are you pretending to be powerful? Longevity grass flew into a rage when he heard Ling Xiao's words. Ling brat, you really don't know how to respect your seniors. I know everything that happened 1,000,000 years ago, and I know everything that will happen 1,000,000 years later. I'm omniscient and omnipotent. No one is my match. They all gave me the title of Sword Emperor. Do you understand? The longevity grass said arrogantly. Sword Emperor? I think it's more appropriate to call you Sword Maniac. You're really arrogant when I call you fat. Ling Xiao rolled his eyes and couldn't be bothered to argue with longevity grass. He already knew that longevity grass was an old ruffian like the radish. They were both weirdos. Sai, why can't you listen to me? Invincibility is really a kind of loneliness. The longevity grass sighed. Since you say you're omniscient, then let me ask you, do you know where the 9th chapter of Destiny is? Ling Xiao glared at him. Destiny's secret law? Why are you looking for it? Of course I know where it is. Longevity grass's eyes flashed with a strange glint as he slowly said. You really know? Chapter 787. Legend has it that the Heavens Will secret skill contains the fate of all living beings. If you obtain it, you won't have to enter the cycle of reincarnation, or be tainted by karma. If I'm not wrong, it should be the Tomb King City or the Feng Shui family looking for the Heavens Will secret skill. There was a strange fluctuation in the longevity grass's voice. How do you know? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he stared at longevity grass. Longevity grass smiled faintly and said, Back then, I followed Dugu Chiobai and dominated the world. What secrets do I not know in the past 1,000,000 years? Tomb King City and the Feng Shui family are cursed by the Heavens Will. They are destined to never break through to the Supreme Realm. Moreover, They are plagued with misfortunes and difficulties in reproduction. If the Tomb King city and the Feng Shui family want to break the curse, they must obtain the Heaven's Will secret skill. Heaven's Will curse? What is Heaven's Will? Ling Xiao asked slowly. I don't know either. Maybe it's the law of heaven, maybe it's the will of a powerful being, or maybe it's the banishment of a powerful being from the realm of the gods. Longevity Grass said slowly. Banishment of a powerful being from the realm of the gods? This was the first time Ling Xiao heard of such a thing. Longevity Grass nodded and said, I'm just guessing. Since 1,000,000 years ago, almost no one in the world could become a god. The door to the realm of the gods was closed and many peerless geniuses died because of their lifespan. The Tomb King city and the Feng Shui family suddenly appeared in the war god world 1,000,000 years ago. Their identity is extremely mysterious. The curse of the bloodline might be caused by a powerful being from the realm of the gods. For 1,000,000 years, no one could become a god? Do you know the reason behind this? Ling Xiao's eyes shone. 10,000 years ago, he was the most powerful being in the world, and had already touched the barrier of the realm of the gods. However, he still couldn't sense the existence of the realm of the gods and become a god. That was why he went to look for the Scarlet Dragon war god's divinity. I don't know. However, based on what happened in the past 1,000,000 years, I think it might be related to the invasion of the sky demons. Longevity Grass said. Is the invasion of the sky demons related to the realm of the gods? Ling Xiao's heart trembled. Is the origin of the sky demons so terrifying that the realm of the gods was so terrifying that they sealed the realm of the gods? If that was the case, then the myriad worlds had been abandoned by the people of the divine realm. That's not something we can know. Let's talk about the 9th chapter instead. As for the Heaven's Will secret law, the demon tribe does have the 9th chapter of Heaven's Will. However, those fellows have all turned into monsters. It will be very difficult for you to obtain the 9th chapter. The Longevity Grass sighed. That's why I plan to return to the Moon City and ask the chief of the Moon Tribe to gather the 3 main tribes to fight the Demon Tribe together. This is the best opportunity to annihilate the Demon Tribe. I believe that the 3 tribes won't give up on this opportunity. Ling Xiao said slowly as his eyes lit up. Longevity Grass looked at Ling Xiao with surprise and said, You actually managed to convince the Moon Tribe's chieftain? This was indeed a solution. However, I can tell you that the 9th chapter of Heaven's Will is in the Demon Saint Palace of the Demon Tribe. That place is heavily guarded, so it will be extremely difficult to steal it. You must be mentally prepared. Demon Saint Palace? Ling Xiao nodded and said. There was a sense of urgency in Ling Xiao's heart. He didn't know why, but he felt that danger was about to befall him. He urgently needed to increase his strength. I've already found the Longevity Grass. When the time comes, I'll get this old guy to contribute a leaf, together with the 12th tier Golden Lotus. It should be enough for me to condense the true dragon body. When I do, I'll be able to kill a supreme being with a single punch. At that time, I'll have more confidence in going to the Demon Tribe. Ling Xiao thought to himself as a glint of light appeared in his eyes. A few hours later, Ling Xiao and Mu Xian returned to the Moon City. In order to not attract attention, Ling Xiao kept the fire qilin in the heavenly stone. Otherwise, if he rode the fire qilin into the Moon City, it would attract the attention of the entire tribe. Although the experts in the Moon City were still wary of Ling Xiao and Mu Xian, Yu Chongshan had already given them instructions, so they didn't make things difficult for Ling Xiao and quickly let him in. Little brother Ling Xiao, you're back? And this is? Yu Tai smiled as he looked at Ling Xiao. He then looked at Mu Xian with some suspicion. This is my friend Mu Xian. We have an important matter to discuss with Patriarch Jian. I'll have to trouble Uncle Tai to help us pass the message. Ling Xiao smiled. Alright, no problem. Your friend is also a friend of the Moon Tribe. Come with me. Yu Tai agreed readily and brought Ling Xiao and Mu Xian to the Heavenly Palace. In the Heavenly Palace, Ling Xiao and Mu Xian saw Yu Chongshan. His hair was white and his face was hale and hearty. Little friend Ling Xiao, this trip seems to be going well. And this young master is? Yu Chongshan smiled and looked at Mu Xian. Patriarch Yu, this is Mu Xian, my friend. He came this time because he has something to ask of Patriarch Yu. Ling Xiao didn't hide anything and directly told him that Mu Xian wanted to find the 9th chapter of destiny, and hoped that the 3 great tribes could send troops to the demon tribe. Ling Xiao knew that with Yu Chongshan's wisdom he could see the opportunity in this. Patriarch Yu, the successor of the War God Temple, is very strong. He has killed at least 5 supremes. Not to mention he has many supremes by his side. If they go to the demon tribe to find the 9th chapter of destiny, there will definitely be a conflict with the demon tribe. I heard that the 3 great tribes have always been bullied by the demon tribe. This might be a good opportunity. Mu Xian also spoke very honestly. Although he was eager to obtain the 9th chapter of destiny, he also hoped to gain the support of Yu Chongshan and the other 2 great tribes. This matter is of great importance. I have to discuss it with the other 2 patriarchs. But don't worry, I think they will agree. Yu Chongshan was very decisive and smiled faintly. Then how long will it take for the 3 great tribes to send troops? Mu Xian asked. This old man has to discuss it with them. Then, I will investigate the situation of the demon tribe. If we really send troops, it will take at least half a month to a month. Yu Chongshan said slowly. Half a month to a month? That's too long. I'm afraid that things will change if we delay. Mu Xian said worriedly. Mu Xian, don't worry. It's impossible for the successor of the War God Temple to steal the 9th chapter of destiny from the demon tribe. That's why he must be thinking of a way. When the 3 great tribes attack the demon tribe, that will be our chance. Ling Xiao comforted. No, it's still too long. Ling Xiao, how about this? You stay in the moon tribe and I will go to the demon tribe to investigate the situation. We can't let the successor of the War God Temple succeed. If there's any news, we can contact each other. Mu Xian said. Ling Xiao thought about it and nodded. That's fine too. But you have to be careful and don't act on your own. Chapter 788. Mu Xian left the City of the Moon and headed to the demon tribe to gather information. He wanted to prevent the successor of the War God Temple from obtaining the 9th volume of Heavenly Mandate. Yu Chongshan left the Moon tribe to meet with the chiefs of the other 2 tribes to discuss the matter of attacking the demon tribe. The Moon Goddess, Phoenix Maiden, and Dragon Proud Heaven were all cultivating in the Xianhuang Mother Energy Pool in the City of the Moon. Ling Xiao was preparing to enter seclusion to form the True Dragon Body. The True Dragon Body was extremely terrifying. It was formed when the bloodline of a true dragon was condensed to the extreme and fused with the laws of heaven and earth. In the previous life, the Supreme True Dragon used the True Dragon Body to sweep through everything before him. He could crush supreme weapons with his fists and fight against supreme god weapons with his bare hands. If Ling Xiao hadn't created the 7 Limits divine art and formed the Heaven Devourer Cauldron, it would have been very difficult for him to defeat the Supreme True Dragon. That was why when the Supreme True Dragon ambushed Ling Xiao in the previous life, Ling Xiao self-detonated and died. The self-detonation of a titled paragon wasn't enough to kill the Supreme True Dragon. True Dragon, I know you're not dead. If I'm not mistaken, you've already refined the Scarlet Dragon War God's godhood and broken through to the God Spirit realm, right? You must still be on the War God continent. I'll come looking for you soon. Ling Xiao said slowly with a sharp glint in his eyes. Ling Xiao prepared to enter seclusion in the Heaven God Stone. The stone flashed and turned into a speck of dust that fell into the secret chamber. With the guards of the Moon tribe outside, no one would dare to barge in. However, Ling Xiao knew that forming the True Dragon Body would cause a huge commotion. That was why he decided to cultivate in the Heaven God Stone. Longevity grass, why don't you contribute a leaf? Ling Xiao looked at the longevity grass and smiled. What? Longevity grass trembled and fled. He looked at Ling Xiao warily and said, Don't even think about it. He only had 9 leaves in total, each one containing the essence of heaven and earth. 9 leaves added together could allow a paragon to live another life. They were extremely precious. Don't worry, I won't take your leaf for free. I'll give you 3 innate soul essences. Ling Xiao smiled as 3 innate soul essences appeared in his hand. He knew that the innate soul essence was a great supplement for spirit herbs. It could increase their divinity and was extremely precious. Moreover, Ling Xiao felt that the longevity grass was not simple. He was still hoping to obtain Dugu Qiubai's inheritance, so he did not want to force him. Innate soul essence? Good stuff. 3 won't do. I need at least 5. The live forever grass's eyes glittered. Alright, 5 it is. Hurry up and contribute a leaf. I don't have much time. I have to go into seclusion immediately. Ling Xiao agreed without hesitation. Seeing Ling Xiao being so straightforward, the longevity grass felt a little regretful. It seemed that its asking price was still too low. Ling Xiao seemed to have a lot of innate soul essences on him. The longevity grass rolled its eyes, wondering if it could use other methods to get some innate spirit essences from Ling Xiao. 1. The longevity grass received the 5 innate soul essences, as if they were priceless treasures. Then, it took a leaf and handed it to Ling Xiao. The leaf of the longevity grass was emerald green and delicate. It was the size of a palm, and there were mysterious patterns carved on it as if it was describing some kind of heavenly law. Ling Xiao could feel that this leaf contained an incomparably vast amount of life essence. It was even more vigorous than the life essence of a supreme being. It was indeed the legendary longevity grass. One could live forever if they consumed it. Ling Xiao sat in the air with his legs crossed. His body was glowing brightly, and his black hair danced in the wind. He was like an immemorial divine beast. Every breath he took shook the heavens and earth. He exuded an extremely hot aura. 3 treasures floated in front of him. The grade 12 blood lotus, the demonic pill of the King Kong ape, and the leaf of the longevity grass. Ling Xiao had originally planned to gather the grade 12 blood lotus, grade 12 black lotus, and grade 12 golden lotus before forming the true dragon body. However, it seemed like it was too late now. Moreover, the demonic pill of the King Kong ape and the leaf of the longevity grass were quite effective. Whiz! Dazzling light surrounded Ling Xiao as the King Heaven Devourer cauldron appeared above his head. He had already pulled out 100 million pure yang pills from the cauldron. For the sake of this breakthrough, he had made too many preparations. Roar! A terrifying dragon's roar echoed out, and golden light swirled around Ling Xiao. Golden scales sprouted out of his skin, and he radiated the might of a dragon. Behind Ling Xiao, a golden heavenly dragon appeared. It was incomparably majestic, and pulsed with an aura that seemed unparalleled in the world. A true dragon can see through all illusions. See the truth. Fuse with the spirit of heaven. Gather the magic of heaven. Seek the Tao of tomorrow. Break the path of heaven. The secret magic of the ancestral dragon contained information about the true dragon body in Ling Xiao's mind. After transcending the tribulation, Ling Xiao's true dragon body had reached the Great Circle. Therefore, this was the perfect time to break through. Whoosh! Ling Xiao had long since erased the nascent divinity branding mark on the 12th Order Blood Lotus. And now, it was nothing more than a stream of light that flew into the King Heaven Devourer cauldron. The heaven-devouring secret magic erupted, and the 12th Order Blood Lotus was instantly refined, transforming it into a majestic stream of energy and blood quintessence that flowed into Ling Xiao. The 12th Order Blood Lotus represented the splendor of quintessence blood. The 12th Order Gold Lotus represented the splendor of spirit energy. The 12th Order Black Lotus represented the splendor of the nascent divinity. After assimilating the 12th Order Blood Lotus, Ling Xiao felt as though he had been dropped into a sea of lava, and his blood energy surged with terrifying power. Rumble! Golden godlight erupted from Ling Xiao, and tiny droplets of blood appeared on the surface of his skin. There were so many of them that it was hard to say how many there were. And within each of them was a tiny golden dragon that was absorbing the quintessence blood power of the 12th Order Blood Lotus. Ling Xiao's fleshly body was transforming, and his life force quintessence surged, making him seem ancient and dignified. Roar! The terrifying roar of a dragon echoed out, and Ling Xiao shone with dazzling light as he transformed into a golden true dragon that floated in the air, absorbing the power of the 12th Order Blood Lotus. Ruiyuumble! Lightning flashed, and the void trembled as Ling Xiao transformed into a true dragon. It was as though he had provoked the wrath of heaven and earth, and terrifying lightning bolts began to descend. The golden true dragon in the air went from being 1 meter long to 10 meters long, then 10 meters to 30 meters, then 30 meters to 300 meters. The gigantic dragon body began to expand slowly. As the dragon body grew longer and longer, a mysterious power of bloodline began to flow. It was as vast as the sea, and it was extremely terrifying. Chapter 789. The power of the 12th Order Blood Lotus isn't enough. Bring it on. The demon core of the Vajragadape, the leaf of the Live Forever grass, and 100 million pure yang pills. Explode. Explode. A look of madness could be seen in his enormous dragon eyes. The demon core of the Vajragadape was like a small sun, dazzling and dazzling as it flew into the Heaven Devourer cauldron, along with the leaf of the Live Forever grass. Ryuamu. It was like a sun had exploded, with Ling Xiao at the center. Dazzling multicolored light spread out, causing heaven and earth to tremble and the void to crack. One lightning bolt after another slammed into Ling Xiao, threatening to crush him into dust. However, even as the tribulation lightning filled the sky, Ling Xiao's dragon form began to expand. Before long, he was 30,000 meters long, and still growing. A 30,000-meter dragon form was the body of a heavenly dragon, and a 100,000-meter dragon form was the body of a true dragon. The blood vessels in Ling Xiao's body began to undergo an extreme transformation, as if they were being burned by fire. What kind of consummate technique is this guy cultivating? This power is even more terrifying than that of a Tao corroborating paragon. Within the Heaven Devourer stone, the heaven-scorching demon emperor's eyes were filled with disbelief as he stared at Ling Xiao. The dragon might radiating off of Ling Xiao was so terrifying that even the demon emperor was trembling in fear. Logically speaking, the true dragon bloodline and the Qilin bloodline were both divine beast bloodlines, so the sky-scorching demon emperor should not have such a feeling. However, he did feel fear from the depths of his bloodline from Ling Xiao. Is the bloodline of the dragonfolk transforming into a consummate battle body? This kind of martial art is really earth-shattering. The longevity grass's eyes revealed a trace of emotion as he spoke slowly. Thankfully, Ling Xiao was cultivating in the Heaven Devourer stone. If he were in the Cave of Time, his terrifying aura would have shocked all of the living beings in the cave. Ruiyuambul. Dragon might filled the air, and the roar of a dragon shook the dome of heaven. Thanks to the power of his 3 precious treasures, Ling Xiao's aura grew more and more terrifying. 3 days later, his dragon body had already evolved to 90,000 feet. But then, the speed became much slower. It seemed to be increasing bit by bit. Ling Xiao knew that in his previous life, the Supreme True Dragon had also been lucky enough to obtain the body of a true dragon by chance and luck. However, he did not expect it to be so difficult. 908,000 zhang. 990,000 zhang. After another 3 days, the gigantic dragon body in the God Stone had already grown to 99,000 zhang tall. Its entire body was shining with golden light. It was incomparably vast and exuded an aura that made people's hearts palpitate. However, the growth of the dragon's body seemed to have reached an extreme, and it was almost about to stop. Ling Xiao could feel that something was amiss. He had been too careless. By now, the powers of the 3 utmost treasures were almost depleted. In order to condense the true dragon physique, even Ling Xiao's own life essence began to burn. At this rate, even if Ling Xiao managed to condense a true dragon body, he would still die from the loss of his life essence. Brat, I've suffered a huge loss this time. Remember this, you owe me. The longevity grass sighed softly. It had also sensed that Ling Xiao's body was in a terrible state. It was a critical moment. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. 3 green medicinal pearls shot out of the longevity grass, dazzling to the eye. They looked like 3 stars, pulsing with boundless life force quintessence as they flew into the King Heaven Devourer cauldron. These were the god elixirs of the longevity grass, and were essentially its essence power. They were more than 10 times as effective as the leaves he had given it. With the 3 drops of God elixir, Ling Xiao's body began to shine with dazzling light, and his body began to grow. Without the 3 drops of God elixir, the longevity grass's aura began to wither. After all, even the longevity grass only had 9 drops of God elixir. Ryuambul. Lightning crackled, and heaven and earth trembled as a golden dragon appeared, radiating an ancient and majestic aura that could shake the hearts of anyone who saw it. Bathed in lightning, the dragon grew until it was 99,999 meters tall. He only needed the last piece of paper to completely condense the true dragon body. Ling Xiao felt that his primordial spirit seemed to have come to an inexplicable chaotic void. Extremely terrifying golden light exploded, and a 1,000,000 feet long 7-colored divine dragon appeared in the chaos. Suddenly, mysterious light surged, and the world was opened up, and living beings were born. His heart began to beat as well. Eventually, the 7-colored blood pearl in his heart began to emit 7-colored mist that flowed into Ling Xiao. Ryuambul. A 30-million-meter-long dragon was fully formed. Roar. Ling Xiao let out a draconic roar that shook heaven and earth, causing the void in the area to shatter, and sending out streams of primal chaos energy. A 30-million-meter-long golden dragon filled the air, its scales shining with dazzling golden light. It was filled with magical laws of heaven and earth, and even the slightest tremor could cause heaven and earth to shatter. This was the true body of a true dragon. There was a hint of joy in Ling Xiao's heart. He flew unhindered in the small world within the celestial stone. His dragon's might was unparalleled. He practically flew through the entire small world in an instant. Buzz. With a flash, Ling Xiao turned into a handsome young man in a snow-white robe. However, at this moment, there was a hint of majesty and vicissitudes in his delicate appearance. His eyes were bright and mysterious, and he had a kind of spirit that looked down on the world. He was like an emperor of the heavens, and no one dared to look at him directly. Even the sky-scorching beast emperor's heart skipped a beat when he saw Ling Xiao. If he still had the intention to compete with Ling Xiao before, he had completely given up now. He felt that if Ling Xiao wanted to kill him now, it would be a piece of cake for him. Whoosh. Ling Xiao descended from the 9 heavens and glanced at the sky-scorching beast emperor. The sky-scorching beast emperor felt a chill in his heart, and subconsciously lowered his head. Why did you help me just then? If I were to die, wouldn't you be free? Ling Xiao glanced at the longevity grass and asked passionately. Ling Xiao did not expect the longevity grass to help him, even at the cost of its natal divine liquid. I'm not helping you, I'm helping myself. If you were to die, wouldn't I be trapped in this minor world forever? Moreover, you've cultivated the longevity sword Qi, so you're Duguqiubai's disciple. Duguqiubai is my brother, so isn't it my duty to save a junior disciple? The longevity grass chuckled. I still have 5 connate soul essences. I'll give them all to you. I hope you can recover soon. Ling Xiao smiled, knowing that the longevity grass was being stubborn. With a flash of light in his hand, 5 more connate soul essences appeared. Ha ha ha, at least you have a conscience. I'm going to cultivate in seclusion, so don't disturb me. The longevity grass's eyes lit up. He grabbed the connate soul essences and turned to leave. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.